We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can sleep with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is where you are. It's The Show with Clayton McKee on Q Talk America. Hi. Hi, you two right here.
Yeah, hi.
By the way,
To
for
you and you and you.
Yeah.
For Amina in the chat room, we didn't plan this, but we all are wearing black t-shirts. It's not a Halloween thing. It's just that's how it worked out.
I thought that was the dress code.
It's my uniform daily.
I just keep getting dressed out of the dryer.
Works.
As soon as I move into getting dressed out of the suitcase that I've never unpacked,
Oh.
other clothes will become available.
Interesting.
Oh, my heavens. But, well, we're off and running.
You're welcome.
That's really all I got.
You're welcome.
Al, to you.
I was promised 60 seconds.
Still going. You got 30 more.
All right, we'll get there.
Has it been a minute already? That's what she said.
There's that line in the previews for the new Queen movie, the Bohemian Rhapsody, where the producer's talking clearly about the Bohemian Rhapsody song, and he's like, it's like 6 or 7 minutes. It's so long.
It's an eternity.
And he's like, if you think that's a long time, I feel bad for your wife or something to that effect. Oh, mom's got a little, she got a little ghost and a pumpkin.
Holy shit.
On my screen, it comes through as a little different than that one. But I think it's a graphics thing. Anyway, hi, Mom. There's that.
With all the emojis. Look at her.
And Joe's there, and Amina is there.
Oh, look, they're so real.
Hmm?
They're so lifelike.
She's so technical. I don't know what she's doing over there in her house, my mom.
That's
but
available on this
She
shit?
does. She does all kinds of
Apparently.
shit. Yeah, she finds out all kinds of things. Oh, by the way, and for any of you listening, there's an iOS update for your phone that came out, I don't know, yesterday, today, something like that. I did
Another
it.
one? Did we
Yeah.
just do that?
Well, I did mine again today. And one for my watch, too. Now I have to keep track of more shit.
Oh, no, I have to check.
Yeah.
Well,
This shit affects me now.
Yeah, it does.
Do I have
a friend
Oh.
got the new fancy pantsy Apple Watch,
Yeah.
and like she can swim with it, and it tells her what kind of stroke she's doing. Like,
Wow.
I know, like there's some crazy.
I think mine's going to tell me if I have a stroke. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Oh, my goodness. Group FaceTime. I get 70 new emojis.
Yeah.
It includes support for dual SIM, which I never leave the country, so I'll never need.
Right.
What's dual SIM mean?
Two different SIM cards.
So that means that you can.
Why do
because
I have a SIM card?
There are different.
So why do I need two of them?
There are different network protocols throughout the world that your phone connects to. And so you could, if you traveled internationally a lot, you could hook up, you could hookup service to both SIMs so that your phone would work here and wherever else you went.
And as abroad.
As abroad, right?
'Cause my phone did work abroad.
Does it right on? Like just on Wi-Fi only, or the cell works too?
No, I call people. Yeah.
Oh, good.
Because a lot of times I turned off
It
the...
cost him $80,000, but he called people.
Right.
No, it's like $10 a day
Okay.
for service.
That feels like a lot.
Oh, Bridget's listening to us on the TuneIn app tonight. Hi, Bridget.
Oh.
Welcome.
Oh, and Bridget
It's a
told us
handy
a
way to
story
listen.
about a converted Republican who voted all blue today.
Oh,
I
my.
believe that was her post that I just read.
Oh, you'll have to share it
Or
with
if
us.
it
Sarah.
wasn't, thanks to somebody else.
Yep.
Speaking of the voting, oddly today in the mail, and we don't know exactly why this happened. Jason, and I mean, other than I know why it came to this house, but Jason Carlton's early ballot arrived today,
Oh wow.
Ooh, that's been
So-
lost in the mail a bit.
which it's kind of odd. So, and again, why he didn't reach out to figure out where the hell it was, I don't know either. But I got it into his mailbox. I messaged him. He then called me, and I'm like, look, you've got tonight
Do it.
to get it done. Fill it
needs
out
tomorrow?
It's got it.
You could do it right along with us. Here's last week's show.
I actually just sent him
Did you?
some information, so
Good.
he's good to go. But then he can just drop it in the mailbox tomorrow. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I
'Cause
just mailed mine today.
That
Weirdly.
but
Yeah.
still, and I saw your post that tomorrow, the 31st, is the last day to mail. It has to be
Postmark.
postmarked by that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I loved it. When my ballot went in, I think it was in so Wednesday of last week. By Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning, I had the text message and the email that they'd received it. Within an hour, I got the text message and the email that it had been verified and recorded and done. Like, boom, boom, boom.
That Adrian Fontes, he's very efficient.
I'm on that
Very
kind of
efficient.
stuff. And then I found out that there are a lot of other people. Actually, my mom had not received an alert, so she logged in, found out hers was all there and good and happy. But there are other people, and I'm thrilled to be able to share that with them, that they don't know that service is available. That you can get a text message. Your ballot's going to be sent. It's been mailed. All these different steps in the process to make sure you're not screwed out of anything. So it's been very cool to have an interactive electoral
cool.
thing with it. Yeah, but yeah, so it's
Have
all
communication from beyond.
yeah.
It's good to know because that is why I stopped doing the mail-in voting was because
You weren't sure.
But no, and then I got the thing that there was something wrong with my ballot and blah blah blah, and I had to go vote in person, and then I went and vote in person, and I couldn't vote because I had an early ballot, and I'm like,
so then you had to do a provisional.
I'm like,
and then-
yeah,
Now it's all done.
that was 2004 when it was all kind of sketchy. So I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
We're out. I don't trust you people.
So now you're back in though, or you're
No,
or are you not?
I'll either vote in person or I think I'm going to go tomorrow. I have time to wherever the early voting place is and do my ballot.
So you're not willing to get back on board?
Nope.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
Well, and they've got early voting open often enough. Like if you like
Yeah.
to vote in person,
And I
you
do
just
like to
wanna
vote in
show up
person.
on
I like
their
to see
schedule
how
when
many
they do
people have
that.
been there, and I
Sure.
enjoy the little tracker number on it.
I get it.
I know.
I like seeing all the people.
Okay.
I like to thank the people that volunteer.
Right.
Okay. As long as I don't care how you do it. Just get there if you can. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Oh, my heavens. So, yes, there's a lot going on. In fact, tonight, I'm looking forward to watching After. I heard part of it because as I was driving, running errands. I mentioned it last week on the show. Tonight, the always interrupting everybody else, Chris Matthews on MSNBC, went to Houston, to the University of Houston, and had an hour long with Beto O'Rourke.
Oh, good.
And what I heard of it was really great. I want to watch it and listen or get all of it. But wow, he's something. I think he's somebody to really watch for coming down the road
Beto?
because
Yeah.
he's got a lot going on and never flinches like everybody else. Like he doesn't flinch. He just tells it like it
He has
is.
good answers for stuff. I don't know a lot of his policies because he's not ours.
Right.
But he's going against Ted Cruz, so I'm instantly for him.
Oh,
Still- yeah,
absolutely.
right.
And then
And the-
depending on how far he plans to go nationally is when
Right. We have to really pay attention
you
to
got to
him.
find out what he's for again. Because there's a lot of those, like that one in West Virginia that's
He's-
a Democrat, but he really votes Republican.
I did hear him say earlier tonight, a woman asked him, what's your stance on that? And he's like, basically, paraphrasing, your body, your choice.
yeah.
And I was like, wow.
I mean,
you just got the woman
Joe
vote.
Manchin's not all awful, but he gets stuff wrong.
And the other one
Yeah.
that I haven't watched enough of because there's, I don't know how much I could really find to watch, but I probably could. I'm going to say, am I going to say it wrong? Gillum? Is that the one in Florida?
Yes,
Gilliam?
Andrew Gillum.
Gillum. Wow. Watching him speak and talk, it just...
Now, is he running for Senate or governor?
Governor.
Governor.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like...
I'm bad at his name.
I am... Yeah,
Ooh,
Andrew
not good
Gillum.
At his name.
Why?
Well, you're 2 names ahead of me.
Okay.
Like, I know who he is when I see him, but I cannot put a name to
Oh,
him.
I couldn't pick
I
him out
caught
of the
him
crowd.
on a couple interviews, and I was like, okay, he's another one to watch. He's got his shit together. Very, very nice. And like,
Gillum.
in one of those, he even talks about the fact that he was raised by, like, however his family was set up and arranged. Like, oh, you can tell when mom and grandma spoke, he listened
Yeah.
because he's very, boom. But
Yeah.
it's great. So I'm I'm curious to see how the Florida goes. Obviously, because there's a shit
It's
show.
going to be an exciting night next week.
Oh my God, yes. Next
And hopefully it
Tuesday.
doesn't end in sorrow and weeping.
Oh God, I hope not.
Tough.
Oh, we're gonna. Well, no. I can't imagine
I
it'll
think
be
we're tougher and more cynical now. I think we were
Then-
just entirely too hopeful.
than 2 years
Oh,
ago.
yeah, I got no hope left.
God.
Oh, we gotta
If
have.
shit all goes bad, I'll go, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll make a t-shirt about it.
Oh, the hope this week. Yeah, you brought up the word hope.
I love hope.
And I don't know how much news you have watched, but I didn't know if any others did, but MSNBC glommed onto the fact that the synagogue murders happen in what they call Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. It's in the Pittsburgh area where Fred Rogers, that whole thing started, and they've showed multiple times the clip of him in interviews where he said, "My mother always told me when there's a tragedy, when there's something bad happening,
Look for the
always look
helpers."
for the helpers." And I'm like, oh, now he's got me crying now looking at this. Like, but that's your hope, because that's, if you see people helping, there's still hopes alive.
Yeah, there was a beautiful, in the multi-faith service, or interfaith service, they had a thing from the, Imam? Is that what the leader of the Muslim church is?
Yes.
The one who's started to raise the money and all for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a very powerful
Yeah, I saw his speech for a minute.
speech on interfaith and being well, they're not the city of brotherly love, but they're pretty close. They're just a little
Next
east,
door.
just a little west.
Just next door.
So, I mean, it is good to see some people acting, not our president or anything.
That's true. I mean, I enjoy.
That works with men too.
A hit dog, a hit or a hurt dog will holler. That's true. I heard that one. But that other thing, don't wrestle with a pig because you both get dirty and the pig will enjoy it. That is true.
But yeah, stay out of the muck.
And he does. I mean, he's staying above the fray with that. So again, so many exciting things. You got the Florida, you got the Texas, and Georgia with Stacey Abrams. So there's
Yeah,
a lot.
and all the voter repression, and I enjoy Claire McCaskill. She's one of those people that I have paid attention to over the years, and I really want her to win. And that's a really tough race.
Yeah.
That was a tough win.
The first
Even
time.
with the rapist as her opponent, she barely snuck in. So, be interesting to see how.
And then I haven't. The last update I got from which was on Rachel about the ACLU suing. I forget who the hell they're suing in the state of Kansas because of them moving the only polling place over a mile outside. It's over a mile from any public transportation line outside of Dodge City, Kansas, which is majority. I forget if Dodge is it majority Native American or Latino. I forget which one, but they've just completely done their absolute best to completely cut them off from being able to vote.
Jesus Christ.
But it was again the kid from the ACLU that here's what we're going for. We're fighting. Which again, if anybody asks you to throw money at the ACLU, do it, because apparently they're fighting for absolutely every injustice ever against all these people who just want to do nothing.
Well, I should
but-
hope so. The American Civil Liberties Union.
You would
that's what
think
their-
so.
That's what their job is.
But other people lie about what their purpose and mission is.
That's true. I do all the time.
I know.
Yeah.
We're not even sure it's you tonight. We're not even sure.
It might not be.
Amina earlier in the chat room before we went on the air said something about, is that cat sitting in there? I'm like, well, who else would it be?
Right. I'm in my chair, looking like me.
Doing all the things. So what'd you do this week?
Well, I had the joy and the pleasure of changing all of my passwords because I got dinged with some identity theft this week. I know.
Oh no.
Bullshit.
Ugh.
Okay.
Stupid. I hate it. Yeah, and it's not like tragic or dangerous because I'm connected to all the things, so I get alerts immediately
Right.
whenever anything weird happens. So, what was it? Sunday night, I got notifications of weird logins from overseas on my Netflix, and I was like, oh fuck, password's compromised. All right, change the Netflix. And I'm doing this in the middle of the night because it's daytime over there, and
Right.
I'm just still up. So I changed the password.
Because you are.
Right. So I changed the password immediately, and I thought, oh well, that's weird, but all right, move on with my life. Went to bed. Then I'm sitting there. What was I doing? Oh, I was making T-shirts. Duh. What else do I do?
There it is.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm hanging out in my garage making T-shirts, and my phone like blows up, bing, 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 and it's like 47 messages from Chase. Somebody's apparently got my credit card information, so I call them and change everything. So I had to walk in the house and tell Sharon, stop what you're doing. We're changing all the passwords. Make a list.
Yeah. Oh wow.
It's obnoxious. It takes about 2 weeks. Like I do all the financial stuff right away, and then I just make the old passwords persona non grata. So anytime I come across something that has that old password, I force myself to stop once I log in and change it.
Right. Yeah.
As you go.
And then we've got about 2 weeks worth of, well, crap, because now there's like 3 new passwords circulating plus old ones. Shit, I locked myself out of this account again. So then I get to do all that. Good times had by all. But even the guy at Chase, he was looking at because they denied all of the charges that they tried. And he's like, well, that's really weird. I've never seen anything like this before, because it was like a dozen $200 charges, all of them from Uber.
Wow.
Just right in a row. Boom, 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 boom.
Should I make a cross-country move, one Uber at a time?
Yeah, but for an even amount, for an even $200, which is the weird part.
Okay.
I don't know. The end.
So ultimately, nothing negative,
Ultimately,
nothing happening.
0 things happened,
Good.
except for I'm annoyed that I had to change all the passwords.
Understood.
Again.
Yeah.
Other than that, I slept in for the cure.
Well done.
All right. I did a great job. I managed to raise like $600 some odd in 2 days, so I feel like phoning it in still worked out okay.
Yeah.
Big
Well
thanks
done. I thought
big
you
thanks
walked.
to everybody who No, sure didn't. Yeah.
Sure did.
But anybody who donated, big thanks.
You're welcome.
Yep.
I latched onto your wagon
You
when I
sure
saw it.
did,
I'm like,
yeah.
That's all I can do.
Yeah, I saw you had posted you're not able to walk to donate to her cause.
The perfect amount.
Oh, and my cousin Chrissy jumped in too.
That she did, so thank you, Chrissy. But yeah, slept in for the cure. Wasn't tired on Sunday. Wasn't like delirious by the end of the walk like usual, so that's good.
And it seemed like it was a nice day for it. I went right to bed, but it felt like it was nice.
I felt that it was a little warm, but it was a beautiful day regardless.
It always kind of turns out a little warm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's still Arizona in the sunshine.
But they're moving it to February in 4 months, so they're going to walk it
We're
again.
gonna do this shit again in 4 months.
Oh, we aren't doing anything. They're going.
Oh, okay.
I'm out. We're done.
That's true.
Peace. I'm out.
And so
Barbara quit. I'm out.
Barbara's grand total came to over $250,000, right? Actually, closer to, was she over
Just
300,000
Nope.
just under $250,000, like dollars away from $250,000.
for the whole 10 years?
Yep.
That's a hell of a lot of money.
It is.
So Barbara Seville, that team, did a hell of a lot. We did just over $40,000. We
Last total I saw
walked
was
in.
42,000.
Okay, well, at the time when she checked in,
Right.
that was our number.
Okay.
But you're right. More money was coming in because even after the walk was done at the Swizzle Inn, Frank and Darren were continuing on with all their stuff, and
Oh, good.
they had a 50-50 raffle and a bunch of other stuff going on, and it was like the 50-50 was up to $2,000 or $2,500 or
Wow.
something, and then but cumulative they did.
Swizzle Inn raised over $10,000.
10 grand,
yeah.
right? Wow.
They raised the goal for the whole team for the first year for Barbara Seville.
No, that's true. That was.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah, it was. And we had a great time there, and this was on Sunday afternoon. It was fun.
Oh, I would definitely need to go support them. What a great story.
Totally was. And every time I reminded Mom where we were going, I'm like, going to the cat hospital. And like that to me, I still think that's just one of the funniest damn stories. But yeah, we were right there in the Swizzle, and it's just exactly as you remember it being.
With the-
Jukebox on the side, big tables to sit at.
And a tableau for no reason whatsoever.
Right.
yeah.
Right out of Silence of the Lambs.
I believe it is decorated for the holiday.
Like you do.
Yeah, good. Yeah,
I've always had a good time at the Swizzle Inn. I don't go very often, but every time I do, I have a blast.
it's a good time. First, of course, there's one thing I see when I'm sitting there is like, oh, they need a point of sale. Those poor girls are doing the old BS West where they've got 18 credit cards lined up around the back of the bar trying to keep track of everybody's tab. Oh, Lord, bless their hearts. But they do a hell of a job. They do a hell of a
Because most
job.
of the time there's 6 people in there,
No.
and then we create some event, and all of a sudden there's 600 people in there. I have overwhelmed.
Why
that
is this
bar
a gay bar
so
all of a sudden?
Yeah,
Right.
so many times.
Exactly.
Well, it turns out there's a little lesbian factor going on in that corner.
There really is.
The owner.
Oh, is that what it is?
I believe that's the case.
I don't know. I just know that there's always a little lesbian remnant there. No matter what happened, there's always 2 lesbians at the bar.
Yep.
I believe one's the owner and one's the other,
One lives across the street.
Owner's
Of the Oasis
friend.
over there.
Oh, there you go.
which may be the whole necessity for a cat hospital being right across the parking lot.
Hey, why not? That's how you get the lesbians in. You're
If there's
right.
one thing I know that lesbians love, it's convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
My
a
cat
valid
hospital and my Miller Lite all in one little
in
block.
one block. Oh,
I'm sold.
and a Starbucks on the corner in case I need a bagel or a
in case.
coffee.
And Dick's Hideaway right across the street for the New Mexican cuisine you've all been craving.
And if you want to go for the Texas, you've got the Texas grill there
Oh,
too. That you really don't have to leave that
No,
corner.
that's that corner.
You could really pretty much live there and be done.
Every time I drive past that corner, I regret moving away from that corner.
Yeah.
There's a
'Cause I lived
Dunkin'
on that corner.
Donuts. There's a Dunkin'
It's all
Donuts there.
there.
It's all there.
Rip
Oh.
Taylor's there.
There's a Taco Bell. There's a UFit. There's a Dunkin' Donuts.
There used to be a ZT house, but now it's like a tap room or something.
It's a Santan.
Yeah, brewery
Extension,
thingy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everything you need.
Why is
But
Clayton
that's
looking
even
so
new.
orange?
The ZT house used to be at Chevron.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's I moisturized earlier and I'm a little red. I don't know. Well, compared to the other 2 people in this studio, I'm the darkest one, an ant.
Right. Just
Yeah.
because I don't see the sunlight.
Oh.
I'm especially pale today.
No, cat has less color than you, at least on my screen.
I
Yep.
don't know. It's a horse race. So I'm at liberty to share that the lottery winner from last week's story
Oh, good.
was my sister.
Hooray.
I'm
Have they
glad,
sorted out the
I'm glad
the
he shared it because
splits?
it was completely oblivious to me. I had no clue who the hell he was talking to, but I really wasn't listening.
Oh, good. I assumed based on the story that it was someone very close to him, either a very close friend or family member.
I
Yeah.
get the close. I got that
I got the
part.
clues.
So yeah, so so they did their publicity picture with the I should
Oh my
send
God!
it
Why
to
don't you send me that?
I never even thought about that. That now that she's
She's
published to
famous.
people, I just didn't want to say anything until it was officially out.
That seems smart.
So I'll send you this one.
Because she doesn't need to be inundated with requests before she has the money.
Right, at least let me get the goddamn money.
Right.
Wow.
I don't disagree.
I'm just channeling my inner her.
Okay.
I know.
I think I would literally change my name if I won like a big lottery.
And
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not sure what I would change it to yet. I guess I should work on that.
Clayton McHugh would die.
What would I change that to when I
Hmm.
fake my own death?
So I didn't have time to look up you personally, so I sent it to the whole show. But hello, Anant. So that was kind of fun. So her and I think it's 7 of her coworkers. I don't know if there's 7 altogether or 8 altogether. I keep losing. They
8
won't
is
stand
enough.
still. Yeah, 8 is enough. Plenty. They
That's
won
funny.
They had the $1 million ticket in New York, and because my sister hates Tops grocery stores, when she saw that the newspaper said that the winning ticket was sold at a Tops friendly market, she's like, "Oh, no way, we fucking want to hate that store."
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Again, channeling my sister, and
But now she's supported
so
the
it
store
turns
'cause
out
the store gets a
one of
bonus.
her coworkers doesn't have the same anger and
aversion.
really strange aversion to Tops friendly markets. So they went and
And they're so friendly. It says so in the name.
it says so right in the name. And I forget where I was just. Oh, I think I saw Tops in Vermont, like in one of the towns that I went through. I feel like I saw a Tops friendly market in Vermont, and I was like,
Interesting.
"The fuck are these people doing out here?"
They're very friendly in Vermont
It's a
too.
very local chain. But so that's fun, and I guess they'll do the actual like ceremony or whatever the hell I don't know how they do it, but I guess they'll do it sometime around Thanksgiving. They'll do the whole press conference.
Oh, okay.
So everybody's got to get their like tax attorneys on the ready and
Right.
divide it up, and I don't know, make your deals with God to see how much you. I don't know how they do that. If everybody pays one sum and then decide, oh, you need to be taxed more, or the
I don't
bad
know.
part is both their kids are too old to deduct, I think, from your taxes. Damn it, they're no longer dependents.
Yeah,
What
but
a-
you can give gifts, so she could probably get rid of some of it by actually giving it to her kids and not be taxed on it.
Oh, I saw that in Shawshank
That's a thing that you
Redemption.
can do. Right.
Well, unfortunately, the one of the check by itself doesn't come through correctly because it's all crooked. But
Yeah.
there's the money shot, if you
Look
will.
at them.
So I'm the second in from the left is my sister Nancy.
The one I've not met yet.
Who
I've
loves
met
to gamble.
her daughter, but not her. Right?
Wait, you weren't at my graduation?
No.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
I thought the whole fucking
I
city was at
wasn't
BS
either.
West that night.
I
Well,
wasn't.
I didn't know you yet, so. But I just assumed that everybody was there because that party was
I don't believe I was.
off the hook. It was at the
Is
BS
that what the
West.
kids are saying these days?
It was
Off
a little
the
nuts.
chain.
Off the chain.
The age range went from like 10. How old would my niece have been? 10 or 12 years
Marissa?
old. Yeah, 10 or 12 to 80 was.
Wow.
Her grandmother was there.
Okay.
There were people speaking German in the corner. One of my coworkers is from Germany, and so is my sister's mother-in-law. So they were off in the corner talking to each other. It was a whole thing.
It's quite the party.
Well, that's cool.
No, I'm sad I wasn't there.
Yeah, it was.
Damn
It was
it.
just a weird group of people mixed together, and no one ate. And my sister spent a fortune on food, and I'm like,
Oh.
just buy liquor. Like, don't waste money on food. Gays don't eat.
We'll take it all
Not
home.
not in public. Yeah, they'll all
Right.
take it home and eat
Right.
like pigs, but they're just a soda cracker and a grape when they're in public.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
Right.
Now I can't.
Could not possibly have another ice cube.
I'll take a plate for my roommate though.
Yeah. And other than that, it's just been horror movies and work for the week. So that was my excitement.
It's very exciting.
Well, that's enough, really.
Yeah.
That's enough.
That seems like a lot.
Other than we already covered it, the AIDS walk we did on the Sunday, and I did I just did it. Went in early to the bar, did what I had to do, got out, did the walk, and it was a great day. Mom and I had not been out together for a while, and she saw a lot of people she hadn't seen in a long time. People that I used to work with at Winks years ago, and our friend Rick John showed up at the Swizzle Inn with the rest of us. So it was a great day. Again, weather was just beautiful. You couldn't really have asked for anything better. We had a great time. It was a fun day. And then that evening, I did something Sunday evening that I've always been very proud that I never do, but somehow, and I don't even know where I did it, I got separated from my phone,
Oh no.
which I never do. Like I'm always it's almost like stuck to my hand.
Are you okay? Are you
So,
suffering from PTSD right now?
So I realized, at the time I was. Now we found it.
No,
I got it.
PTSD is post. You were like in the stress.
Oh yeah, I was in
your
it.
TSD.
No, but it did, and actually
STD.
it did take me.
That seems wrong.
It did take me into Monday to get over that because
Okay.
I was so frustrated and angry with the whole situation.
Sure.
Because the trip was, and this watch oddly is what helped me track the motherfucker down.
Look at that with the
Because
helper watch.
the watch connects to the phone only. No, it's not that. It's not that. The watch only will ring like when a call comes through or whatever within like 25 or 30 feet of the phone. So I knew when I walked to the patio of the bar and Ricardo would call me, nothing. Walk in the bar, it would ring. So we've narrowed that down, but couldn't find the phone. Like I went through everywhere. It just like
The worst feeling.
Queen's purses. I went around every floor, looked in every trash can. He kept calling. No.
you must have found a lot of interesting things looking in those queen
No.
purses, though.
Well, yeah, maybe. Trixie's got a lot of shit in her
Some
purse. I'll tell you that.
hamburgers and some
No, but so here's
All the food they're not eating in front of you.
so here's what wound up happening with this.
one
is-
yellow shoe.
And if you can get your bartenders and your other bar employees to get on the same page with this, it would be really helpful. Apparently, they have, depends on who's working, multiple places that they keep lost and or found items.
Oh, sure.
Not where, because everybody kept going to the drawer where lost and found items are, but whoever found it decided to put it somewhere else. So it took us an hour, and all of a sudden this guy's like, "Oh, is it this one?" Pulls it like off another shelf somewhere, and I'm like, "Motherfucker!" I was so pissed. Like, why don't you or whoever put it where all the other items go when you find something?
Was this at the Cobalt?
No, it was not at the
okay.
Cobalt. It was at the Charlie's. And I'm
Oh, I
like,
see.
I
don't know
like
what
that you
the
want organization out of that crowd. Good.
No, but if you've got a
I was going
lost
to tell
and
you who
found
the culprit
drawer-
was if it was at the Cobalt, but I don't know the Charlies that well.
But it was just very frustrating. But to go to your password thing, because I was logging in, tracking phone, like looking for everything, I wound up having to reset my password for my Apple login, whatever the bullshit. Well, for me, it's 80 different devices and accounts and shit. So I have to log back in with a new password because God forbid you'd use a password you've ever used in your life.
Nope, has to be
For
brand new.
him.
I've resorted to password generators. Like I just,
Oh, no, that's what I
just
use,
have
too.
to memorize a new password.
So anyway, got through all of that. Well, then found out my phone will not let me log into using now the current Apple ID. So I called that. I drove to, you saw.
I saw that you were in
I
Scottsdale.
drove to
You're in Fashion
Scottsdale, go to
Square.
the Apple store, thinking, well, I
Oh,
can't
because
figure
the
this out.
Biltmore one closed.
Right. So I had to drive all the way
Oh.
over there. Lovely lady tried to help me, and she's like, I hate to tell you this, but because it's an Apple ID, we don't deal with the accounts. You've got to call them. So, okay, no worries. Came home, went about my life, got up this morning, because I needed to have a second phone line to call them from.
Oh, sure.
So I went to the bar this morning, and I had my laptop and my phone and the other phone line, and I got a lovely, lovely woman who knew her shit.
Good for
thank
her.
God.
Heather, wherever you are, Heather, you were very helpful. Well, come to find out, she did some research. I'm like one of the few people in the world now, it's a known issue, that it will not let me take out an old, for whatever reason, and they're working on it, which is how I found out there was an iOS update today because I just checked at random. But yeah, so now there's something to do with the login that the engineers at Apple are trying to figure out that it only happens to a few people. Don't know why it's me, but whatever.
How
Aren't you
lucky. And we thought the
special?
lottery winners
Yeah.
were lucky.
So
No, no,
lucky.
no.
Well, I feel like maybe I should play the lottery again, as lucky as it was. But finding the phone, though, it's all backed up. And the issue wasn't that. It was it's here. I can tell it's here. Where the fuck is it? And again, when you ask somebody, hey, check the lost and found, and they've been through it 3 times,
Right.
and that's not where it is because somebody else decided, oh, I'll put it over here.
We have a lost and/or found.
God, it was frustrating. But it took me, it was a weird feeling because, again, in all of the years of having a device like that, I think I've broken one screen many, many, many phones ago, and I never lose it. It's always, always with me. We traipsed all over Central Phoenix one day looking for his phone.
One time.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys were dumb. You could have died. Quit
No.
tracking down phone thieves.
Oh, track it.
Could have died.
We did a good job.
Could have died.
But anyway,
He did that while I played Operation Human Shield.
Could have been shot in the face.
But,
In
so
the
I didn't know
face.
about
the phone wasn't loaded.
Yeah. I didn't know about the
I've been
password
watching a lot of
generator.
serial.
I didn't know about that feature where you and then,
Mhm.
like, how do you ever remember that? Like, you got to stay on something. Like, you can't log in from anywhere else with that fucking thing.
So the only thing that I do that's poor security is I use the same password for a lot of things,
Yeah. that is.
and that's really poor security. However,
As maybe you found out this week.
no, because I think they got something. I think they got something out of my Netflix account,
Oh.
Right.
and then were able to apply because it was the same. It was the same card. The same card that I used to pay my Netflix was the one that was attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they got like one little key piece of information because we don't realize how much information we just put out there
No.
Oh,
and
God.
how powerful the automatic computer programs are that scour
Right.
the internet for
They
that information.
harvest that stuff all
yeah,
the time.
they just harvest it out. So, but yeah, that's the only like insecure thing that I do, and I rotate a couple of them, so you never know quite which one it is. So if you ever figured out one of my passwords, you could get into like half of my shit. But I do use the same one. So on the
Write this down.
right,
Yeah.
If you ever want to look at half
There's
of cat shit,
$14 in my checking account. Have at it.
Yeah. Please enjoy.
steal my identity. You're gonna get nowhere.
You can buy one person dinner at Taco Bell with what's in my checking account right now. But
Medium soda, please.
right, that's saving all the money and the calories right there.
Yeah.
Make it a diet soda.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the big purge day kind of forces me to memorize it. By the time I've typed it in 12
Right.
times,
Exactly.
all right, I know what it is, and then I just write them down after that.
Yeah,
Like
but I didn't know what that was, so I went to a friend's house, and I was like, and we didn't realize about the just hold your phone nearby and you'll get, 'cause both have Apple devices. So they have it written down somewhere, like inside a cupboard, and I'm like, I opened up the cupboard and looked, I'm like, you're an asshole. Like, what is this?
That's an odd password.
Yeah. GUSTFFFF lower
Oh, yeah.
lower space exclamation point star star star. I'm like, you're a fucker. I didn't realize it was just auto generated, and he does that for security and
Yeah.
safety, that none of them are the same and they can never remember them.
Right.
But you load it onto the device once and then save it, but then you can't go anywhere else. Like, and people can't come over and use their Wi-Fi, so they kind of like it.
Sure.
And then on the Mega Millions thing, 'cause we all went in last weekend at work, and I had to break it to them, like midway through the mass buying. I'm like, okay, my sister just won the lottery, so there's no fucking way that we're gonna win. Like, I just killed it for us.
Mm-hmm.
And then last Monday, I had to like sit down with a pot of coffee and like deal with my insurance company, or maybe it was Tuesday, and like get all of this shit settled with my insurance company and the skin cancer thing because there was an error in billing that was clearly theirs. So saved myself $1,000 there in unnecessary fees that they were like, you need to pay them and then we'll correct them later. I'm like, oh, this is not how this is going, kids. Right. You're going to fix this clerical error. So it was very Monopoly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, ooh. You had a little mustache, you twirling?
You know what I mean? Like, you know, you
like
play
the race
card,
car.
Clerical error in your favor, please collect $100. Like, that's what it felt like. So I said to Harrison on the phone last week, I'm like, you know, between my sister winning, getting the $1,000 like discount on the insurance, I'm like, I'm just $10 in my laundry away from never having any luck again ever. I washed my scrubs yesterday, and there's a $10 bill in the breast pocket. And I was like, damn it, it's the trifecta.
Well,
There's
sir,
no chance.
As they say,
I'll
your
never
luck
win
has run out.
Yes, I'll never win another dollar.
Please don't gamble anymore.
So, yeah, there was that. So, is Margarita ever coming?
Apparently not. I've received no text messages. I've heard nothing from her.
Is
so
she okay?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't recall this being one of the days that she was out. But hey, apparently it is.
Did you check the calendar?
I don't know if I was on the calendar when my new calendar system when this started.
Oh no, maybe she called off in the Gap calendar.
Mind the gap.
I didn't have any Gap coverage, so I don't know what happened. I'd have to look back on in my illustrious notes to see if there was a date. She said, "Oh, there's that."
I feel like I'm gonna miss a day in December.
Wow.
Besides Christmas.
We're not doing Christmas
Gosh, I should hope not.
or New Year's. Don't those both fall on a?
On a Tuesday, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Good plan. And a very busy New Year's Day, so I won't be here.
Yeah, no, we're gonna take off. We're gonna take off quite a while.
No.
Yeah, people will get.
Winter break, we'll call it winter break.
Winter break.
I do enjoy a winter break.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing on my notes about Marnie being out.
Careful notes. Well, I did just do a well text her, make sure she's still alive.
Are you, dear Marnie, are you dead? Question mark.
Question mark.
Please reply immediately.
Reply yes,
Yes or
no.
Blink twice if you're dead.
Raise your hand if you don't want to watch. What do you always do? If you don't want to watch Barnaby Jones or whatever it is you're doing.
Oh yeah. Raise your hand if you want your dressing change. See, they don't want their dressing change.
Nobody wants it.
Aren't they all unconscious?
What the hell is? What is that, Annette? If you guys have any suggestions on how to what? I don't know what that even is.
What are we using? I don't know what we're
that
using.
is.
Optimally. I would assume that's optimally.
I would do fitness band, so testing it out. Is it one of the ones you pull, like
a
a
resistance
stretchy?
band?
Oh, is it like a Fitbit?
Yeah,
What are we doing?
We need more information,
We need.
and
to
we
know.
want to let you know.
Oh,
that
but we were talking.
See, I knew that was optimally. I'm really good
Okay.
at reading typos.
We were talking earlier about well, I'll get into it with my obsession for the week. But
sure.
but we were talking just minutes ago about how
Moments
the
ago.
Fitbit before the show, the Fitbit has solved many a murder mystery because of tracking.
Very useful.
Because
to the
people
law
forget
enforcement.
that when you carrying a body into a ravine, the Fitbit monitors where you go. So just because you left your
Shut the fuck
just
up.
because you left your phone at the library, so it looked like you're at the library, you wear that fucking Fitbit and it finds out where you dumped the body.
I do like to. I do enjoy finding out that the murderers are worried about their jogging,
Right.
their fitness.
So here's what. Moral of the story:
Upside.
you have to choose murder or making your steps for the day. Like you can't have both. You want to make your steps or you want to do murder?
Or
You're gonna have to choose.
Well, strap the damn thing to the dog. Don't let the dog run around all day.
It feels counterproductive.
No, I know that. But meanwhile, your steps are gonna. But you can still drag the body over to the.
That's a
the
good
dog
alibi,
gets the credit
too.
for the steps you got ditching the body in the
Right.
ravine.
But your phone
Where
is at
is
the
there
library.
a
Good
ravine
alibi.
near here?
I don't know. We'll
Asking
find-
for a friend.
who may not be able to ask for themselves.
You're right, exactly. We don't know.
A ravine. Saguaro Lake, maybe?
A
Maybe.
ravine.
Kind of.
Isn't a ravine sort of like a wash, but it's not?
But it's like steep.
Is a ravine a steep? It's like
Yeah,
a.
right. It's like a canyon. Like
Oh.
We're going to do a deep dive into
We need
ravines
to.
right now.
I need to know what the definition of these are and what the
usually a river
so
runs
a
through it.
ravine, it's true. Usually a river runs through it. Also, one of my favoriteest movies of all time, Longest fucking movie ever. I don't know why it's enjoyable.
Because they're also damn pretty.
Right.
Is the favoriteest
Fly fishing
a
and
word?
murder.
Okay, I was checking.
A ravine,
By definition.
by definition, is a deep, narrow gorge with steep sides. I told you steep.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
I don't
Not
think there's
unlike a crevasse.
Interesting.
I don't know if there's any ravines nearby.
South Mountain's full of them.
There's some washes.
Yeah, usually a wash would be at the bottom of a ravine.
Oh.
That's what you would find there.
God, this is stimulating,
A
isn't it?
crevasse, however, is in a glacier. A deep open crack, especially one in a glacier. Especially.
Yeah, well, not exclusive.
Not
to.
exclusively, but especially.
We don't have a lot of those in Arizona.
You do on South Mountain, because that's where I use the word crevasse a lot.
Not a lot of glaciers. though.
Not a lot of glaciers,
Because you have
though.
to mind. Oh no, we're low on glaciers.
For those of you listening around the world,
Quickly running out of
Phoenix,
glaciers.
Arizona, really low on the glacier.
We sure could use some
Count.
more, yeah. Anybody's selling a glacier for cheap.
Low mile.
We got
mile.
a need. We got any low miles.
Low
Yeah.
mile glacier.
Gently used. What'd you forget to turn on?
I don't-
Who's not watching us?
Oh, for some reason this decided to. I don't know.
Let's see.
What technical
Oh,
error?
no.
Synonyms for a ravine include a gorge, a canyon, a gully, or a couloir.
A puppet,
Oh,
a
a cool.
pirate, a. I know you're going. I know where we were going with that.
Oh, and a Nance in the YouTube room too.
Oh my God!
She's all the places.
Two times.
so many
two
places.
times the net.
All right, so I guess we have, well, one of our headlines is Marnie's missing. This is an Amber Alert.
When it,
Silver alert?
it's a Marnie.
Silver.
Oh,
It's a silver alert. Yep.
it's a silver Marnie alert.
She drove right past that amber crayon into silver.
Many years ago, I think.
Well, yeah, that's
Silver and dusty alert.
maybe we should also
Probably
message.
listening.
We should also message Ernie and find out if maybe a co-conspirator in her disappearance.
Has Marty been murdered? Hashtag asking for a friend. Send that to Ernie.
Is she not showing up for work today?
Beyonce did it.
Oh, check her Fitbit though. We have to
Oh.
find.
Just text her, do you need an alibi?
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Oh, just wondering.
Stop by the show if you need one.
Let's see if this works out for us. How about
Sure.
this?
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
I don't know if it's a good obsession or a bad obsession, but I'm kind of obsessed with how much I'm becoming my parents.
Ooh.
Yeah. I
We've
know.
all seen behind that dark curtain. That sounds dirty.
Have you been watching too many of the progressive commercials on TV about the people becoming the parents?
Oh no, I don't watch TV commercials.
There's a whole commercial series about,
Oh.
you know, it's like shows a married couple and the girl's like, well, I remember the day it started happening. And you all of a sudden you see the husband who's like 25 wearing pants too high and his glasses on a chain. He's
Right.
becoming his mother.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, luckily my parents seem to wear their pants in an appropriate place.
Just below the nipples.
Yeah. This week's episode.
Whenever we would do rehearsals, because I would always wear like big dog shorts and a t-shirt, and we would do rehearsals for Halloween.
Yeah.
Like they hang a little low, so you'd always have to like hike them up. So you gotta Jew up the shorts and gotta make it look like a gentleman in Florida, and get the waistband underneath the nipples. So when you did your step ball change, you didn't trip over your testicles. For the older listeners.
It's a problem that I have.
You've become your father.
I saw-
Apparently.
I saw that
Apparently.
worry. What if I
Yeah.
trip over those?
Please do
In
continue.
this week's episode, first of all, I cannot watch more than 26 minutes of television without falling asleep.
Oh,
Ooh,
okay.
yeah.
Can't be done.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen
Does
the
it
end of an
matter?
episode of
Does
anything.
it matter what couch, recliner, upright chair? Does it matter?
So I don't have recliners in any room where there's television.
Oh, you should though. You.
Oh
would-
no, I'm a couch napper. Are you kidding me? I love
I go the
a
full.
sofa. Yeah,
What do you think
I want to be
recliners do?
horizontal.
What do you think recliners do?
No, they kind of put my feet in a weird way. I don't like them.
You're doing it wrong.
I'm,
Anyway.
I'm also a side sleeper, so I need the sofa
Oh,
so that I
do
can
like- Okay. All
curl
right.
up on the side. I don't like to
All
sleep on my back. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, I forget what I'm saying in the middle of what I'm saying all the time.
When is 40 coming?
December.
Oh, good.
Oh.
In a
Okay,
month.
so right
Yeah.
on time Alzheimer's. Yeah,
In a
this is
month.
not early
Right.
onset. This is
No, this
right
is-
on time.
Spot on.
You get ready for January.
This is prompt and courteous.
Why? What's happening in January?
We're going to still be doing this show. We'll have to tell you what you're doing. Part of it.
You're gonna have to Carol Channing your ass in the second act of Hello Dolly.
It happens that fast? It's very exciting. Well, don't choke on your saltines.
I'm
there.
not. No. They're clubs.
I don't know. My only saving grace.
Things I didn't need
No
to know about
grace.
Joe for 100.
No. What?
First answer on the board.
Survey says
Side sleeper. Number one answer.
Number one answer.
getting higher all the
All
time.
100 people surveyed. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Yeah,
a low
that's,
hanging fruit.
I feel like I'm just standing at the edge of the ravine of the midlife crisis. That's what's happening.
Well remembered. So you're doing good on the word puzzles part of the Alzheimer's treatment.
Oh yeah, I do my crosswords every day.
So does my mom.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I'll segue off of that. There is this vocab test that a lot of people have to take for like getting their master's degree as part of the GRE, and like people doing flashcards and stuff like that. But someone suggested recently doing crosswords and going through the week so that they get harder and harder, just as kind of a vocabulary, like a little way to help
Yep.
with reading. Because Epi's on every fucking one.
Sure.
The
My mom.
crossword
Yeah.
puzzlers
My
will
mom
know
Oh,
what
swears
that
trust me,
word is.
I know exactly because I actually do crosswords, so I know what you're talking about. There are some weeks where I'm like, really, this fucking word again?
Yeah, it's always epi, and I just say that because when we say epi at work, we mean epinephrine, and we had
Epinephrine,
somebody's
right.
dying. And then the belt for the robe for doing taekwondo is that
A gi is the
kai,
whole outfit.
but a kai is it a k?
That might be, yeah.
K-I-I. Oh yeah, there's
Yeah.
those words that you only know from crowd. They're
Okay.
only available when you need 3 letters that
Right.
end in
Right. 3 letters, one of them's an X. Like every time. Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Mom swears by them. She does them on I think she has an app on her iPad that she does a lot of them from. She does crossword puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, does all that kind of stuff. She swears by it all.
Yeah, but crossword puzzles I've heard really really good things from a couple different points of view. The Alzheimer's one I had known, but now I just heard this one for like vocabulary and like
Sure.
helping yourself out. So
My family's always been really big on Scrabble. And so Words with Friends is still a thing. Like I
Oh,
could
yeah.
start a game with like literally everyone in my family right now because they're all still actively playing. And
Yeah.
I decided I didn't have time and dropped out a couple years ago.
I used to only play with mom on that because other
Yeah.
people would ask to it. I'm like, I didn't know. But it was
Oh my
just,
God.
it was fun to do just with my mom.
You can play with my grandmother. You can play with my
I don't
mom,
want to.
you
I
can
just
play
didn't
with
have
my Aunt
time.
Sheila. You can play with my cousins.
Word Connect, that's one that I play. It's like
Okay.
a scrambler.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You don't
That's
learn
fun too.
anything, but
But still, you're identifying
when
words.
I can't fast forward through a commercial, that's what I go with. I've just embraced the Alzheimer's. I fully have it.
Oh.
The list of people whose names I forgot today is longer than the phone book now.
Okay.
I'll tell you that story off the air because some of them I really should be offended that I forgot their names.
Okay. Do you know where you are now?
So now it's a medical condition
Oh, I
and
don't
not
have-
just rude.
I've got shapes and places down. It's proper
Names.
that I
That's
just-
the problem.
It just gets worse and worse, and like sometimes I'll stare at somebody for a long time and be like, I don't know your name.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll have their name badge backwards, and I'm like, I'm the person that needs your name badge. Like
Yeah.
I'm it. I'm who you're wearing that for.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. So my obsession is still from last week. I don't know where we fit it in last week, but that Haunting of Hill House miniseries on Netflix that everyone's been watching all week. So hearing everybody finish it and like talking about it with each person as everybody finishes it, and people that don't know the original novel or don't know that author, which is surprising because I really thought anyone under the age of 55 had to read The Lottery by Shirley Jackson in high school. Like that was one of those books that I thought everybody had to read.
Never heard
Yeah,
of it.
no, I'm pretty sure I was assigned it at least twice.
At least twice. Like it's
But did you read it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very.
Oh my God,
She's
there
a-
wasn't a book in sight from the time I could figure out
Yeah.
how to read when I was like 5 until I don't know. I found alcohol. Like I read every book I ever put my hands on.
Because you could read the label.
I'm on
booze.
I'm on a slight moratorium from reading just because I'm so behind on the Bible. I'm so behind on Entertainment Weekly
Okay.
that I have to read at least 2 more.
It
I was
scared me.
concerned.
My
I was
personal
too.
Bible. So I have to get at least 2 more issues caught up on Entertainment Weekly before I'm allowed to get into a book. But small great
Well,
things.
eat some Mexican food and let's get this business
I know,
done.
I know. You'd think the New Mexico, I got 2 done. We was there a minute.
I wasn't on. I caught up. I caught up with it. Thanks,
Welcome to
Kat.
the show.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
wow.
show, yeah.
Wow.
That's why they can't have jungle gyms outside of Taco Bell's, because nobody wants to watch kids fly through the air and shit their pants.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always time for an offensive joke. So I mean, it's just been so much fun as people like find out about it, figure it out,
Yeah.
and then there's a couple people that like know the original book, and some people are like, oh, I didn't really like the changes, and some people are like, okay, that's a really clever way. But luckily, everybody, it's like that. Like, there's always a misquote. Like, whatever the real quote is from.
I'm prepared to Google.
I know, and now I'm not going to think
Say
of it.
another name he's forgotten.
There's this famous movie quote that everybody gets. That everybody says it, but they get it wrong.
You get it wrong.
Be afraid, be very afraid. You talked about
We
this
talked about
last
that
week.
last week, but this is just one of those ones that everybody gets the quote from the end of the Shirley Jackson book, The Haunting of Hill House, wrong.
Okay.
So they don't know that they have changed the meaning of
Oh.
how our ghosts walk together. When our ghosts walk, they in the book they walk alone, in the movie they walk together. But there's one of those famous movie quotes that everybody kind of gets wrong, like we're gonna need a bigger boat, or one of those famous ones that gets misquoted all the time.
It's gonna be.
Is it no live organism can continue for long to exist sanely under conditions of absolute reality? No. Okay.
Wow, but what is that from?
Oh,
It's from the book.
It's from the book. No. I'm just saying about there's there's one of those movie quotes, and so there's there's
So it's a movie quote, not the book quote.
No, I was just
Okay.
talking about how there's one of those movie quotes like "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi." Like there's one of those movie
Molly,
quotes.
you
that-
in danger, girl.
Yeah, that everybody gets like a couple words off, and it'll come to me in like 15
I'm right on
minutes.
top of that rose.
Yeah.
You need a special locker
Drink your
for that
juice,
hat.
Shelby.
Okay, so Swindled. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look.
Yeah,
up,
I'm
but I
curious
feel
to
like I feel like I'm listening to that one.
Amina, is it like a true crime podcast? Because I'm full up on those.
Well, There's a link in the chat room.
Yeah, that's
Kat,
what I'm
why
gonna
don't you
go
go
to.
to it?
No, I want her to type it at me in the.
Oh, I see.
No, I think we. Let
want
me
my
let me
information
look
to
it
come
up
to me
because
how
I
I
feel
want
like
it.
we got on this one.
Is it along the lines of Dirty John and I'm still traumatized by Dr. Death? I'm never going to the doctor again. I'm gonna die just in my
Swindled
backyard.
is the one about now I gotta look it up. We did. Go tell us your obsession and I'll explain that.
Me, mine. You mean do mine?
Yeah.
I have 2 of them.
'Kay.
One we were talking about a little before the show. Apparently, in the one of the iOS updates for the iPhone, there's a new thing where your alarm clock stuff called bedtime, and you can set it to when you should go to
And
bed and when you
forget
want to
it.
wake up. And you can choose the days. Like if you have a repeated schedule, you can choose the days you want it to wake you up. It'll monitor it'll remind you should go to bed, even though you can ignore that if you want to. But I like the musical choices that it wakes you up with. Also, it it silences. You don't have to change the volume of your phone or turn your ringer on or off or anything. During the sleep time, it silences all alerts with an option to permit some certain people to ring through should you want them to.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm completely loving that because the wake up is just almost wonderful. It's so nice. That's it. Now the other one
I don't believe in anything where the
we talked about this.
wake up is almost wonderful.
We talked about this last week, and I can't. You got to imagine that this was one of my obsessions. I've already listened to the first 2 episodes of Bagman from Rachel Maddow that was released.
Oh my gosh, is it out?
It was really they were supposed to release it today. They released it last night, and during her show last night, when she said, "By the way, we're releasing it early," they went to commercial break, came back from commercial break, and the website had already crashed. They had already taken her website down by the people who had
What's it called?
subscribed.
Bagman?
Bagman, and it's
Man or men?
man, M-A-N.
Man.
And if you can get to it from anywhere you get podcasts from, according to what they say.
There it is.
I-
It's on my iPhone.
Look at that. So
Subscribe it.
I've already listened to the first 2, but I believe I will listen again because I was doing other stuff listening to it, but it's very interesting, and it is, like she says, it's very timely, but it's a story that I didn't fully know. So we're getting into it. It's very, very interesting how this is going. And again, only the first 2 episodes into this son of a gun. I think there's
Well, because
8.
they've only released the 2 so far.
Right, but I think there's 8 in total. I believe there's 7 or 8 that are coming.
That seems
Total.
sufficient.
But it's been very interesting, and I love how she tells stories. So between her and her producer, they're doing it. So I listened to that today. So that was my my big obsession, was waiting for that. So I'm curious to watch her show tonight after we get off the air to see if she announces anything about how downloads or blah 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 whatever's happened.
And I would like to if we could circle back one more time since we're let me tell you, let's update on the
Oh
Marina.
my God, dude, please.
So Margarita, so I get this back from Ernie.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, because I said, do you need an alibi? Marnie is missing. That was my text.
Uh-huh.
So she replies, this is maybe the funniest text I've ever
Good
gotten.
text.
She told me she was going to tell Clayton that she wasn't coming tonight. Perhaps that didn't happen. I know she's super overwhelmed with work, and her mom was in a car accident this morning.
Oh, no.
I think those things coupled together caused her to need to cancel tonight. I'm so sorry she didn't do that already. As for my alibi, I'm sitting in the bathtub with the dog. Do you think that would fly? Yeah, I think
Wait, with the dog?
I know.
No, Marnie, wow, I had no idea. No, she didn't message me, and I completely understand why. I mean, she's got more important shit to do than worry about being here. But I hope Di's okay. Do we have any update on Di?
And I will do that now.
Gosh, wow. Well, I know Marnie's not listening. Otherwise, I would say, Marnie, I'm sorry, but you're.
Yeah.
It is an approved absence, my dear.
Yeah.
I know she gets overwhelmingly occupied with work all the time, but to add mom doing something like that, it's crazy.
And I am asking about why she's in the bathtub with the dog.
Do.
So, I mean,
Bedroom.
okay.
Seems fair.
I'm just going to ask how mom is to Marnie. Oh, nope.
What?
I'm going to go right to the source. I'm a good journalist.
Oh, look at you.
You're going to text Di?
Uh-huh.
Good.
Oh, well, wait a minute. What if she doesn't respond? Is that a glimpse into the window of how she's doing?
We could go down the chain after that.
I
Yeah.
see. That's how we're going to get
Go
things
right to
done.
the source and then circle your way out.
Yeah. So anywho, so
Like a
there's
ripple.
that. So I did that. I think I'm going to build a break here. We're going to do our headlines here in a second. It's going to be very exciting for everybody. Well, everybody sits here and is on their phone during the show. I think that makes
Hey, we
sense.
are doing reporting.
I'm,
Breaking
And Katie
news.
sure doesn't check her email.
I'm actually fighting for my place in line to be the date to Jacob Triweiler to the Kennedy Center
Oh,
Awards.
I
should he
saw
win.
that too. That
Yeah.
post. That was
Oh,
funny.
did you see what I offered?
I did.
What? No.
I saw everybody laughing at that too.
I said you were willing to put out. What did you
Right.
offer up?
Well, I figured everybody else put out, so I said I would be quiet and just let him talk.
And listen while he
Ooh.
talked. To which the crowd went, no.
Yeah.
No, so now I just need to chop off the competition.
Oh, I see how you're gonna play. You're playing dirty.
I was first.
Me, me, I'm first.
But
Get
the-
in line, bitches.
when I first saw it, I was confused because I thought, oh my God, it's already happened. Is this an old post? Then I remembered, no, they announced the lineup. We talked about it months ago.
They
and
announced it
I
way in advance.
I forget that they actually do the show on the 1st of December. Yes. But that would be fun to go to.
That would be a blast to go to. I would love to do that.
Because he wants to figure out who the man is that's performing as Reba McEntire.
Yeah.
That's what his whole
I'm going
thing
to do a
is.
DNA test.
Colonel Sanders. It's the same one.
It's not,
Same guy. Same fucking guy.
it's not Colonel Sanders.
It is Colonel Sanders.
Oh,
There was a
Okay,
Super
wait.
Bowl commercial that
That's-
poor man has been hiding under Reba's wig for so long. He's trying to come out. He doesn't know how to do it. He did the misguided KFC commercial.
He auditioned. He's so convinced he's Reba. He auditioned for a KFC commercial.
It's a very Victoria kind of thing.
Oh, it is. Oh my God, it is.
It's a man pretending to be a woman pretending to be a
man.
chicken purveyor.
Herbs and spices sold separately.
Yeah, there's only one world famous roaster in this family. Okay, so we only got an update from one person so far.
Breaking
I
news.
sent to Ernie, oh my, sorry about the accident and why are you taking a bath with a dog? And she said, yep, I see how that last text was confusing. The dog is not in the bath with me. The dog is the only one home with me. My bath is solo, and now you know way more than you ever wanted to. So I wrote back, we did not question you taking a bath with a dog.
Yeah, sadly, that really didn't.
That wasn't the weird part.
Well, actually, I did. I questioned why
And
the
she
hell.
said that is a very valid point. Everything up to your life led me to believe you got in the bathtub with your dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there would really
And
be
probably
no.
not for the first time.
No.
Touch for the very first time.
No, you're taking
Nope.
it to a weird place.
That's true.
Nope, too far.
Dog's still a virgin.
Back it up. Do we have a segment? Do we have stuff to do?
Yeah. We knew it. It's going to go like this.
That's a long, dark road.
Oh. Headline stories we're going to read and talk about people in bathtubs with dogs. I'm sure it'll be exciting. Severed head may be connected to a headless body found earlier.
Moose bomb.
She's engaged to what?
Baby octopus found on trash.
Swastika Saturday. Everybody's going.
Horrible segue. It wasn't Ross.
Diaper dumper detained in New Jersey. These stories and other things that I'm sure we're going to cover are happening right about now. Well, after this break.
Soon.
Someday.
Someday soon. Someday. We'll get through it. We'll be back with hour 2 after this. Stay right where you are.
I know how to win the hard way.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is the show. It's Q Talk America. It's a Tuesday night. I'm not sure.
Tuesday.
Al's been texting people in bathtubs with dogs, allegedly. We're not really sure. We're waiting for an update from Marnie on where she is, how her mom is. So much is happening. If you've missed the first hour, you really didn't miss much. And we're not sure there's going to be a lot to offer this hour either, but we're going to try to get through it. A lot of people in the chat room, thank you for being there and wherever you are, wherever you're listening from. Somebody who earlier this week was listening from Iran. I saw them as I looked on who was listening currently.
Iran.
Iran, so far.
You ran so far away to Iran.
There's that. So people listening all around the world will listen to this. A severed head Police investigators on Monday were trying to determine whether a decaying human head found in an Oakland backyard, Oakland, California, that is, Oakland backyard belongs to a recently discovered headless body. People visiting
Funny how they go together.
I know.
It's like peanut butter and jelly,
I don't
head
know if
and
they're trying
body.
to line that up. I'm not sure. People visiting an Oakland apartment complex last week found the head in a yard and took it to a police station. According to Johanna Watson, who's an Oakland police officer, officers at the police station initially thought it was a Halloween prank, but then when they saw the head in the car of the people who found it, Sergeant Michael Cardoza told reporters after the Friday discovery that, "I can say in my many years of service, it's the first time I've ever had a human skull delivered to the police station in a car."
And he's the poorer for it.
Homicide detectives interviewed all the residents of the three apartment building and didn't appear that anybody was involved with it. It's also unclear
They
how
all
long...
had heads?
Yeah, they all do. Don't lose your head. It's unclear how long the head had been in the yard, but Cardoza said it was decomposed and did have a little bit of flesh left on it. The Alameda County Coroner's Office is working to identify the remains and determine whether it's connected to a decapitated body found in close proximity in late September of this year. Wow. And I'm like, real? What am I missing?
No.
We're still fighting over the
Tamil
Kennedy Center tickets.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Got it.
We're Facebooking while we're
I see.
listening to your severed head
Sure. Well,
with flesh still on it. We understand. Carry
okay.
on. Keep
No,
going.
it's over now. The
There.
story's over.
Was there
Segue
an
into that.
attorney?
Was there,
Oh, wait, we have updates.
on which part?
Updates.
Breaking news.
Di is updating us now.
Oh, she is.
Marnie's still not available for comment.
Diane is
Direct
updating.
from the source.
Still,
Right.
still trying to find out what time it is and when she was supposed to be
She'll
somewhere.
text you back on Thursday.
Di says, "I'm a little sore, but good otherwise. I nodded off for a second and crunched the back of the Honda right in front of my car. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The guy was cool, and so was the police officer. Love you all, too." Oh, no, because I said that we loved her. And we do.
Nodded
And we do.
off. Well, maybe we're done driving. Maybe that's where we are.
Listen,
with
if
this one.
sleeping is a crime,
While driving, though.
but still, I stand by my statement. Speaking of standing by, here's something you don't want to stand by, and it's a dead moose.
Oh.
I know, a dead moose in Wyoming probably won't attract grizzly bears now that its carcass has been blown to smithereens.
Ooh.
That's right. The Bridger Teton National Forest officials used 100 pounds this week, which is 45 kilograms for those of you across the pond, of explosive last Friday to get rid of a rotting moose near a trail popular with hikers and hunters. Now, the fear is that the rotting meat will attract bears, which will then attack the people.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure.
Right. So rather than dismember the moose and cart away a ton, like a literal ton
Right.
of rotted meat,
Right.
blew it up.
So then it just blew little pieces everywhere.
Little pieces everywhere. They say.
I don't see how that's an
well,
advantage.
They say that using explosives is more practical and less gruesome than cutting up and hauling out half a ton, not a real ton,
Okay.
of rotting meat. Yeah. Because then it just splatters it everywhere and the ants pick it up and it rots quicker.
Two things
Two
for you.
things.
Go ahead.
Bring it
ahead.
on.
First,
We should do this
A
to
lot
people.
of explosive experience, do you, Al?
You'd be surprised.
I wouldn't.
Maybe not surprised.
Maybe not.
I like that. It means that if I found it, I had to call the cops to come get it, not take it to them.
I agree.
I feel like I would backstroke away. And we have all kinds of updates.
I feel like I would poke it with a stick.
Ooh.
But the other thing, one of the most famous videos, and pretty much why we have the YouTube, and we're going to play it now because now we have to, is there was a whale that
Oh,
beached
yeah.
somewhere in California, and some asshole had the idea, which does make sense, instead of trying to haul the whole carcass out, which attracts sharks, and would bring sharks too close to the land, that they should blow it up.
So that little
But
fishes can eat.
They used way too much dynamite, and it was captured live on TV, and it looks like an SNL sketch. Like, there is nothing about it that seems real. It seems preposterous, but it is one of the most famous
I've never heard of this.
videos that has ever happened, and it's kind of like one of the first things people started sending around when videos became like a thing that you could send was
Yeah.
they found the clip of the blowing up whale.
Yeah. In case you were wondering, it was determined that this particular moose suffered from worms and died of natural causes.
Oh, well, that's nice. There wasn't a Trump son around.
No, apparently they're not in Wyoming this week.
Okay, so Marty, so a new listener,
Oh.
Marina Ryer, is listening.
Long time, first time.
My friends, I'm so sorry. Today's been a shit show. Erin just sent me a text, and then I just saw Al's text. Erin said that she told you Mom was in an accident, and I have some work stuff going on. I'm so sorry. Mom was okay, just a little shaken up. I just feel bad for her. The person that she got into the accident with is fine, too. Oh, it was this morning after she had worked overnight, and she was very tired. Obviously, I'm feeling pretty guilty about that as well. Oh, don't. Anyway, as she says she's listening, so hopefully she's listening along too. Anyway, we've been outside surveying the damage, and as usual, I lost track of time. If you want me to run over to finish the show, then I absolutely will. No, please, I know my pay is dependent.
Shelter in place, Marty.
Yeah, Marty.
Shelter in place.
Get stuff taken care of at home. Mama Di just texted and updated us. I didn't realize she had been working overnight.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, sure.
Circling back to the whale.
We've all learned when you park your car at the corner, you put the brake on just in case you fall asleep, because we've all done it.
Apparently, this was in Oregon in 1970. Oh,
This video's been going around for decades.
I'll get her queued up. You guys continue to. Well, your story, right? Whose story? Yours?
The first time I saw that, honest to God, I thought it was an early SNL skit
I am gonna
because
queue this
it looks
up.
so fake. Okay, so I got to get some deets on this one. The one where Ross supplies an alibi. Actor David Schwimmer has hilariously responded to those who are convinced that he, or more specifically his character Ross Geller from Friends, is a suspected thief in Blackpool, England, despite police ruling him out. Officers, I swear it wasn't me. As you can see, I was in New York. Schwimmer, 51, tweeted Monday alongside a video to the hardworking Blackpool police. Good luck with the investigation. Hashtag it wasn't me. In the video, Schwimmer is carrying cans and mocking it. Oh my God, I should have sent this to you because it's such a funny picture if you haven't seen it. Again, I'll share it with the cast and you can put it up.
All right.
Funny stuff. That the guy really does look like...
I did. I saw that picture.
Again, I'm going to be lazy and just send it to the whole cast so Marnie can enjoy it at home.
Oh, she's playing along, so that'll be good.
On Tuesday, Blackpool police posted a CCTV image to Facebook asking witnesses to identify a suspect who appeared to be stealing a case of beer. The post quickly went viral as Facebook users pointed out the suspect looked a lot like Ross. Plenty of inside jokes from the show ensued online. Oh no, they took him all down!
No, denied.
In response, Schwimmer apparently felt the need to defend himself, albeit tongue-in-cheek. So there you have it. Schwimmer didn't do it, and of course they have him online.
Of course they did.
Oh, the tweets were the best part, and they took them all down. Well, that'll teach me to be a week early for a story. Because that happened last Wednesday.
Good job.
All right,
Are we watching the whale blow up?
Oh no, we're gonna queue up this news report of this
Very
whale. I don't.
Now, this is not breaking news. This happened
No.
48 years ago.
This is old news.
Old, very old news. All right, well, we'll.
I don't know if they make sandwiches from whales. I don't know if they're allowed to. They make shark steaks, which is shitty, but
Oh,
they are delicious.
oh.
Dear Google, can you eat whales?
Well, I don't know why you couldn't.
I think it's banned almost everywhere.
Should we show this news clip of yesteryear? We're gonna cut to this.
Oh, there's a whole Wikipedia for whale meat.
Oh, well, hang on. Let's see how this goes.
This is K2 News, the spirit of the Northwest.
It had to be said, the Oregon State Highway Division not only had a whale of a problem on its hands, it had a stinking whale of a problem. What to do with one 45-foot, 8-ton whale dead on arrival on the beach near Florence? It had been so long since a whale had washed up in Lane County, nobody could remember how to get rid of one. In selecting its battle plan, the Highway Division decided the carcass couldn't be buried because it might soon be uncovered. It couldn't be cut up and then buried because nobody wanted to cut it up, and it couldn't be burned. So dynamite it was, some 20 cases or a half-ton of it. The hope
Holy
was that
fuck.
the long-dead Pacific gray whale would be almost disintegrated by the blast, and that small pieces still around after the explosion would be taken care of by seagulls and other scavengers.
Well, I'm confident that it'll work. The only thing is we're not sure just exactly how much explosives it'll take to disintegrate this thing so the scavengers, seagulls, and crabs and whatnot can clean it up.
The dynamite was buried primarily on the leeward side of the big mammal, so as most of the remains would be blown toward the sea.
About 75 bystanders, most of them residents who had first found the whale to be an object of curiosity before they tired of its smell, were moved back a quarter of a mile away.
And they start getting pelted.
Yeah, right. And then all the rain.
Our camera stopped rolling immediately after the blast. The humor of the entire situation suddenly gave way to a run for survival as huge chunks of whale blubber fell everywhere. A parked car over a quarter of a mile from the blast site was the target of one large chunk. The passenger compartment literally smashed.
Oh, my God!
Fortunately, no human was hit as badly as the car. However, everyone on the scene was covered with small particles of dead whale. As
In the whale's
darkness began
defense, that appears
set
to be
in,
a soft
the highway
top.
crews were back on the beach burying the remains, including a large piece of the carcass which never left the blast site. It might be concluded that should a whale ever wash ashore in Lane County again, those in charge will not only remember what to do, they'll certainly remember what not to do.
It's just an SNL skit before SNL.
Oh my God!
Amazing. I don't know that I've ever seen that either. I've seen a lot of shit on the internet.
Oh, the humanity!
It really is. God is my witness. I thought turkeys could fly.
I have never heard of that or seen that before in my life. Wow.
Oh.
That's fantastic. But just his commentary is what's wonderful. A quote.
Just quickly turned into a run for their lives.
Run for their lives. Very
a quarter
dramatic.
mile away.
Oh my God. that poor 1970 Cadillac just got the whole top just smashed
But
in.
it worked.
No, they had a huge piece of whale.
The big chunk was still there.
They still had a fillet on the beach.
The big piece that never left the blast site.
It was smaller than the original whale. I contend that it was.
We think it'll work, but we don't know how much to use.
I thought, I mean, a half a ton of dynamite can take down a skyscraper.
True.
See, and that's my question, because pyrotechnics was
Not new.
Not new. People have been doing it for thousands of years. They've been blowing stuff up, taking down buildings. How do they?
That was.
First of all, you put the dynamite inside the whale, not next to the
But
whale.
nobody wanted.
Inside the
But
whale.
I think we've learned, like, the wildlife gamekeeper, what do they call that? The fish and
the
game
park rangers,
Warden, game warden.
You know, they have
Fish and
the
game.
fish and game department. Like, I think that's a real job, because the
It is
highway
a real
patrol took that as like a road. How are we gonna get rid of this bridge? It's a whale, but it looks like a bridge. It's still a whale.
Well.
Half a ton of dynamite. Okay.
Okay.
Quickly, but I love the lady's voice, who would be played by Gilda Radner. It's coming right at us.
Here come the pieces.
Here come the pieces.
Oh my God, that would even be better if we were half drunk.
See?
Oh
Well,
my God.
Too late.
So now you realize what I'm going to do later is because there are other videos of it. Like
I have no idea.
I've got to watch them.
I don't even know how someone saved that. I think
VHS.
In
no,
1970?
not 1970. That's what.
So they'd have to have worked at the station.
And I
Right,
think
they would have had to have made a copy
I
of that.
think it's that reporter that kept that alive for years and was just waiting for some way to do it. And when the internet came along, that's one of the inspirations for YouTube. That's one of the videos people wanted to watch.
I have never
at
heard of
first.
that, but that's priceless.
That and that stupid.
You know, it's
dancing
funny.
baby.
They learned something though, because you really don't hear a lot other than this moose. You don't really hear a lot of exploding animals.
But I had
Exploding
it.
carcasses.
I had it ready.
It's illegal to explode live animals still. Just
Well,
to be
live
clear.
animals, sure.
Yeah.
To be clear.
But that's the theory, is blow it up and let it be less scavengers. And the worry is what will. Unfortunately, no human was hit as bad as the car. Amina, that's the part where I lose my shit because it's so deadpan and it's
really
so funny.
Deadpan, complete reporter.
Just completely.
I did watch because there was a live news thing up in Seattle. There was a whale that washed ashore, and they actually. It took forever for them to get it figured out, but they made the decision and they tied to it and drug it out to sea.
Yeah, and that's a choice. You just have to drag it far enough.
But it was like in a
because
cove.
they come back. Like as Stephen King says, sometimes they come back if you get them in the same tide.
Right.
they're just gonna float right back to the shore
Yeah,
because of the
take 'em
weight.
real far
So you
away.
gotta take them far enough out, and then you end up. There's a really great episode of Shark Week
Oh.
where they're out in that part off South Africa where everything is kind of stinky because they go by Bird Shit Island. It has another name, but I feel like that's appropriate.
Okay.
And they realized what a great day they were gonna have filming sharks because there was a giant whale carcass that had just died.
Oh.
There didn't seem to be any source of injury to the shark. It was its
They
its
do that.
time.
They don't live forever.
They don't live forever, and just crazy the filming they did of like every shark
The
in the
feeding
ocean,
frenzy,
the feeding
right.
frenzy, and they got kind of drunk off of it. Like they started to act like really erratically by like free easy food. Like they
Well, and it's as big as it's like 4 city buses. It's a huge animal.
right. So you can imagine how many sharks came to feed.
Sure.
So the people on Shark Week were like, bah,
Right. Booyah.
booyah.
Well, not so exciting on Shark Week is this little guy. Hawaii scientists found 2 tiny baby octopuses floating on plastic trash they were cleaning up as they monitored the coral reefs around Hawaii. Just for perspective of how tiny these little octopuses are, look at this. That's a human finger next to the little teeny octopus. So anyway, marine
How precious is this gonna get?
that's the only picture I got. Marine ecologist Sally Beavers of now get this. I gotta say that it's a Hawaiian
dive, I like
it's a Hawaiian name. Kaloko Honokohau.
Oh, you got it.
You have to say all the vowels. Remember, if it's Hawaiian, you have to say all of the vowels.
Kaloko Honokohau.
Okay.
National Historic Park said Wednesday that the octopuses were the size of green peas. Cut to the picture that I showed earlier. She believes that they were likely either day octopus or night octopus. I guess you got a 50-50 chance on that one. Both species commonly found off of the Hawaii coast. They can grow up to 12 pounds or 5.4 kilograms as adults with arm spans of 3 feet or 1 meter. Scientists found them months ago, but the U.S. Interior Department highlighted them this week when it posted a photo of one on social media. Octopus babies hide under logs and other floating debris until they're about 3 or 4 months old.
Then they come out and scare the shit out of you.
The ranger said that one of them squirted a tiny bit of ink when they released it into the ocean later.
I was excited too.
Oh, well, there's that.
A lot of wildlife today.
Well, I'm just, I didn't
Here
realize we had
come
a
the
theme.
pieces.
Think of how high they,
It's
they're,
like National Geographic's Wild Kingdom up in this bitch.
they're a quarter mile away. How high they would have.
And the fact that it looked like the atomic bomb, the blast radius on that motherfucker was huge. I didn't know there was a meteorite crater in Oregon. There's not, dear. There was a
That's
whale
where
there.
we blew up a whale
And
in
yeah,
1970.
how did the person with that car that got imploded go to, you're not,
Insurance
Bob, you're not going to
for-
believe what happened.
Large whale part flew through air. Act of God? Question mark.
And we covered it. we
Well, luckily it was the highway department that did it, so they can vouch for it.
right, valid. Well, and they have it on tape.
Yeah.
Jake from State Farm is never going to believe this one. He sounds hideous.
Well, he's a guy, so.
Oh, speaking of hideous, not nearly as fun, but also kind of dumb. A Halloween venue in Ohio that held a swastika Saturday on the day the gunman opened fire at a Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh said, "We screwed up big time."
But yeah, not till after.
I think
though.
it's a twofer.
Now the Haunted Hoochie. That's right. That's the name of this place. The Haunted Hoochie in Pataskala, Ohio, put out a Facebook promotional post that day referring to Swastika Saturday. The owner said it's the traditional last day of the season where some actors paint swastikas on themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, this is a thing.
People need other ways to.
Some
get
on
entertainment.
social media accused the haunted house attraction of anti-Semitism and Nazism. Weird.
But they would have, shouldn't
It
they have
might-
suggested that anyway, regardless of what happened
Yeah.
Saturday?
Might be the swastikas.
Maybe.
Just putting that out there.
Just a guess.
The Haunted Hoochie said in a post on Sunday
Of course. They did.
Of course they didn't.
that the attraction shows the horrors of the world. But then, on Monday, the owner, Tim May, said that his posts were mistakenly taken to mean he was defending horrible deplorables. He later wasn't done yet. He issued a statement saying, again, quote, "We screwed up big time," and then pledged $50,000 to the synagogue and extending condolences to the families affected by the shooting. Here's the venue's entire response, which was posted, of course, on the Facebook. Quote, we screwed up big time. On behalf of the entire Haunted Hoochie staff,
You have no idea how well you're segueing into my story.
we first and foremost extend our sincere condolences to the families affected by the tragedy in Pittsburgh and the Jewish communities of the area. Second, we will in no way tolerate any form of hatred on our grounds from our staff or from our guests. This means that certain costumes or themes may be deemed inappropriate, and you will be denied admission or asked to leave the grounds. We will not host any musical acts which perpetuate any kind of bigotry, intolerance, hate speech, anti-Semitism, or the like, now or ever again. The Haunted Hoochie is a place to escape the true evil in the world through the magic of Halloween theater, not perpetuate real evil. We welcome anyone to our show with open arms, provided you do not bring evil or hatred, or apparently swastikas anymore. We are working with community leaders to mend fences and pledge our support to the victims with $50,000 donation to the Tree of Life Synagogue.
That's a good. I mean, that's a
That-
heartfelt
right.
apology. Like that's the right way to say what might have been some kind of really misguided joke, and sometimes that's all it is. It's
Yeah.
just
And probably one that went on for years.
Yeah.
Probably one that nobody remembers why it started.
and you just have like this misguided thing that I thought that was funny, but when did we realize?
You know what's still funny?
The Simpsons did an episode of the exploding whale. I found it on.
What year is it from? Yeah.
I don't. I'll get there in a second, because in the episode it explodes. The whale's still there, and then all of a sudden they just start getting pelted with all kinds of stuff. The car gets hit, and the whole guy gets hit.
This video has been it's been around for 48 years. I mean,
I have. That's so funny.
I didn't think people hated Nazis so much. Said the man who dressed as a Nazi in New York.
See?
Who knew? So
Haunted Hoochie. Ask for it by name. Segway?
Yes. So a woman who claims to have sex with 20 ghosts is now engaged to one via her haunted hoochie.
wow, could not have chosen a better.
Bam.
Out of the park.
Yep.
Good
Teed
job.
up and gone.
Good job.
The Amethyst Realm of England says ghost lovers tend to be more sensual and adept than the average bloke. Her mate appeared on an Australian hike. A spirited fling with an Australian ghost has ended up in true love for an Englishwoman. In fact, the ghost just proposed, and she wants the living world to know. Amethyst Realm, I thought that was a place, turns out it's her name, of Bristol.
Of course it is.
Says she has had sex with her haunted hoochie with 20 ghosts
You're
since
adding
she
that.
was a teenager, but wasn't looking for a new relationship when she went to Australia on a business trip.
Ooh, it's an old relationship.
However, she says that changed on a nature hike when she came into contact with an apparition and felt sparks. Like none she's ever felt before. I think she just licked a car battery.
Or her vibrator's got a little issue.
Yeah.
A little static electricity in her
Yeah.
jeans. I don't know.
Yeah.
Use some fabric softener,
Right.
bitch.
Right. You're creating static cling in your haunted hoochie.
Your thighs are rubbing together. Realm didn't think it would amount to anything serious, but she says spirits tend to stay in one place, but something amazing happened on her flight home.
You went a little north?
He found a different region. She felt the presence of her lover on the plane and
272.
apparently not stowed in cargo.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. I was happy and excited, so exciting that we had to do something about it. So we headed to the plane luge till the sun, and well, I am now a member of the Mile High Club.
Oh, boo.
That was 9 months ago. She's not pregnant. And things have progressed to the point where Realm discussed her desire to marry and have her ghost baby on the British show ITV this morning in August. The paranormal proposal reportedly occurred last week when the couple took a road trip to England's Wookiee Hole caves. Not making that up. Not making that up.
All the words.
Not
So
okay.
many words.
There was no going down on one knee. He doesn't have knees, but for the first time I heard him speak, she said.
Oh.
Actually, I could hear his voice, and it was beautiful, deep, sexy, and real. The couple are now choosing a ring, but have not decided what kind it will be. Realm, supernaturally, is hoping her ring will have an amethyst in it, but she's leaving it to her spirit lover to decide. The couple plans to do a pagan hand fasting ceremony. Is that like fisting? In which their hands are tied together, so no, symbolizing their connection. She said it'll be somewhere in the English countryside. We haven't discussed the details yet, but I think it'll be quite a to-do. Oh, she says quite a big do. She should have said them my way. Realm says the ghost energy is more feminine than a typical man, but admits that if you're making love to a spirit, gender doesn't really come into it. Doesn't it? Don't you gotta get the poke? I don't know. Ghosts.
There's so much crazy happening here. I don't know where to start. Carry on.
She added, ghost lovers tend to be more sensual and adept than the average bloke. There's always more of a connection because the sex goes beyond physical. It's like any other kind of sex. The main difference is I just can't... Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I can't see them. Can't see this news story either.
There's that.
This is as told to Gloucester Live.
It's just not okay. Crazy comes in all forms, people.
Yes, it does.
Good for her. Oh, you know what? I say good for her.
Oh, we did that one already. So, I think that's a story about mental illness. Anyone else?
Tragic. It's tragic. Poor lady needs some help.
That's what we're going to go with, huh? We think maybe something's wrong with her. Oh.
I'm overwhelmed with crazy. I actually have no commentary.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I kept trying to go, but a point. Nope, but the crazy just kept coming.
And look at that.
Okay.
Got my
Good
story
on
for
her.
next week.
I hope I get the invite
Right.
to the hand fasting ceremony.
The hand fast.
Which, incidentally, I've been to 4 of them.
Have you really?
I really have. Yeah, there was a big fad in like the lesbian world where it was all like hand fasting, Wiccan, Celtic ceremonies, like long before we could ever get married.
That fits.
Yeah, I know.
that jives.
Yeah. There's always somebody wearing a kilt at a lesbian pretend wedding in 1998. Yeah, that's about right. I was wearing my crystals,
Sure you were.
Topaz, that's my stone.
Well, from one ghost story to another, a man who has been ghosting authorities. They say they've captured a man suspected of dumping his grandson's soiled diapers along several New Jersey roadways over the past year. Franklin Township Police say an officer acting on a hunch spotted 68-year-old William Friedman leaving a load of diapers in the area of routes 47 and 40 at about 3:15 a.m. This past Sunday, he was taken into custody after a traffic stop. Friedman allegedly told police the diapers came from his grandson, adding that leaving them around town was, without getting caught, was, quote, almost a game.
Almost.
Authorities say a motorcyclist crashed in June after... How big were these diapers? Authorities say a motorcyclist...
I've been eating a Taco Bell.
Authorities say a motorcyclist
jungle.
crashed in June after running over a diaper Friedman had allegedly dropped. The motorcyclist suffered minor injuries, but the bike was totaled. Friedman has been charged with interference with transportation and faces up to $1,000 in fines.
And he should have to go back and pick up every one of those motherfuckers.
Well, I have a feeling they've already been picked up. But, like, how is that a game? Like, I don't understand. Wow, people are just weird.
I mean, only if you're flinging them out the window at people. Like, then it's a game.
Well, then you're at the zoo at the monkey exhibit. They're like throwing shit at you.
Right.
Enough people drive by your house to start to feel like a monkey exhibit. I mean, it makes sense.
Who knows?
It tracks.
He gets that.
Carry the one.
Oh, yeah, I got there. Yeah, I'm there.
Double it at 30.
I'm going to start throwing shit at people.
That's shit in Celsius.
We do it. We do it every Tuesday. He made
How do you say shit in British?
The yellow shit.
Twat.
Shite.
Shite.
Or no, that'd be Irish, I guess.
No, shite. I think they say that in London too.
England. I'm real good at accents.
I know Amethyst Realm. I just thought it was like what she was buying into.
Sure.
Not that it was her name.
Well, let's see what we can.
I feel like that's not her real name.
Is that like a real far down the line sequel to Romancing the Stone though?
Yeah, the Amethyst Realm.
Oh, you're right.
Getting ghost pussy in the Amethyst Realm.
Mm-hmm.
Too much?
Probably.
It's more of a tagline than a title.
Maybe we get Linda Ronstadt to write a couple songs with it for it. She can't sing them, but she could at least write the songs.
Poor thing.
I'm in. Sounds good.
Let's see what we can do with this.
Okay, so we have shows that are not coming back this month as we had hoped.
Boo.
Yeah. I don't know what the delay is, but somebody's got to get their shit together.
Get it
We
together.
got a couple of 3 horror movie suggestions for tomorrow.
Nope.
Or later tonight for those Halloweening already.
Nope.
A couple of movie suggestions. A book that we're all going to start reading. And
I like your optimism on that.
yeah.
I'll read
Oh,
it.
and a funny sex question.
Oh, did
That I
somebody
read in an
say you
essay.
could? All right, kids, we'll be back in just a moment. Stick around.
Hey girl, you okay?
You're listening to Q Talk America. is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
If you think it sucked so far, just wait till after this 30-second dance break.
Well, the squirrels are back in the attic. Your dad won't call an exterminator. He says it's personal this time. Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back from, well, that was a little extended break. We needed it after all the hilarity of last segment. Oh, my heaven sakes alive. There's a lot of we're getting, what is it, how to say shit in different languages? Is that what we're getting? Whoops. Hold on. Oh, I hit the wrong mic for you.
Wrong button.
Yeah.
My bad.
We're
I
getting
don't think the British say poo. I just watched a British movie, too.
Huh?
I think they just say shit.
I think they're two different things, though. I think when referring to actual feces, the British say poo.
Oh, really?
But when just
Say
cursing,
make.
right?
Make,
That's the
you have to
potty.
make.
You gotta
and
push?
that's
You gotta push?
she did a whole explanation of the gesture this season. I died. Listen,
How about Al Perkins and some entertainment?
let's talk about the Goldbergs
Well, you
for a
should watch
second.
the Goldbergs. Just for every week for when Beverly swears. You just wait for her to drop an F-bomb and have her whole face get bleeped out. Like, it's just hysterical.
It's super good. But no, the part that got me was when she described what the make motion really was. She broke it down.
Because she's trying to convince Eric. No, what's
Eric.
no,
the Barry's girlfriend.
Barry's girlfriend. Like how he has to be her boyfriend's mother. She has to
Fiance.
make sure fiance.
They're engaged.
She has to make sure that he goes to bed. You have to ask him every morning if he make, and she had to explain it to her.
And to explain the gesture.
And the look on the fiance's face. I'm not doing that.
Right.
So 2 shows, one of which should be back this week, and I should be enjoying, and it's all of its hilarity, is on delay, and that's Stranger Things season 3.
Ooh.
They're promising this time it's bigger, better. It's Electric Boogaloo.
This time it's personal.
Yeah, but they're not coming back until early next year. So they missed their Halloween deadline, and then the other show that should have come back, but they missed their deadline too, was Mindhunter season 2. Is also on a delay. So both will be out in 2019. Probably both before the Emmys. But I was really surprised that Stranger Things didn't make its Halloween deadline. But I guess there's a longer turnaround than we think for all that special
Production
effects.
delays.
Yeah,
I don't
production
know.
delays.
Turn around, bright-eyed.
And there for the Haunting of Hill House humans, there is a second season, but it's probably going to be an anthology. They feel like they are going to leave that family alone, and it's going to turn into a haunted house show. So that will go into for your Halloween pleasures. If you're going out to see the new Halloween, it's okay. Very girl power.
Yeah.
If they could have used half that girl power in A Star Is Born, they would have had an okay movie.
If they'd had one freaking sound engineer as a woman in that movie,
Anyone.
Listen.
Any job.
Anyone.
Don't
get me started.
Drummer,
Because I had
guitarist,
guys
whatever
coming
you
out
need.
of the woodwork to tell me not only is that like intentional, but it's also a feature.
No.
What?
No, not at all.
We're not starting.
Just lazy screenwriting. But anyway, so Halloween, okay, nice homages to all the other movies.
Very nice.
I haven't seen. There's a few I haven't seen. I think I've missed Halloween 4, 5, and 6, and probably Freddy versus Jason movie somewhere along the line. I'm sure I missed one of those. Oh no, Freddy versus Jason is the wrong people. So I don't think they've ever put. I don't think they've ever put Mike Myers against someone else.
I don't think so.
So
I don't know.
I call him Mike. We're very close.
I thought you were conflating Bohemian Rhapsody, not that Freddy, though.
Oh, not that Freddy.
Different
No,
Freddy. Got it.
Freddy
All right.
Krueger and I
Ooh.
think Jason from Friday the 13th eventually went to war in some sort of film.
I feel like that's a thing.
So, but honestly, I watch my horror movies all month. If you really want a Halloween update that's kind of worth it, I would recommend the Halloween H2O from 20 years ago, where Jamie Lee Curtis came back and was living in California under a different identity, and Michael Myers finds her. That was very thrilling. I thought that one was a little bit better than this one. But this one, it's horror fun. But on the Amazon Prime, cannot recommend it enough, I got some good scares out of this last night, and I thought it was a fun concept. It's called Hell House LLC, which was just a cute little play on words, and it's people that go find an abandoned, haunted hotel on, I'm going to say Long Island, because it's just outside of New York City.
Sure.
And they decided to turn it into a haunted house that they hire actors for, and they set up all the gimmicks. I guess they've done, the backstory is they've done this in other places, and now this is their new haunted house, and they're going to set it up and, make limited investment. It's an abandoned hotel.
Okay.
They get to make some money, and I guess they're kind of short on cash. Is one of the plot points I think went by that I wasn't paying attention to. But they don't know but the house is haunted. So as they're getting up in the middle of the night to investigate noises, they're finding their own things that they put there to scare the people who are eventually going to go through the haunted house, plus the real hauntings, and trying to see the difference. And a couple times they try out their tricks for when the people go through and they get scared by their own things, because there's other things haunting besides what they have there. There's a creepy clown. It was a delightful hour and 34 minutes, and I got a couple of really solid screams out of it, some jumps. It was a delight. It was made for about $57.
It's my favorite
Serves
kind.
two.
Sauce on the side.
And I feel like I got every dollar out of them. But it's all, and it was a clever thing that it's all done through
point of view.
yeah, through cams. Like, it's all done through when they're testing the things, they're testing it on their video camera on their phone. The only footage of the incident comes from someone who was there, and then the one guy that's in charge during the night that it all goes wrong, he's wearing a camera because they have to communicate with each other that, like, the guests are coming into this room, hit the fog, cue the bartender.
Wait, so does it give you? Does it have that seasick feeling like Blair Witch then?
No, it's not that bad. It's all meant to be. It's not people running. I mean, there's a couple parts where they're running, but most of it is just like to show you what they're seeing. And there's a creepy ass fucking clown. Like, well done them on getting another clown to scare the bejesus out of me. The clown industry is really taking a hit.
Clowning ain't what it used to be.
And then, so that's on Amazon Prime, complimentary with your $1 million 1-year fee.
I believe it's $129.
Yeah. Oh, it went up.
Yeah.
Now we just got to get stuff ordered to make up the difference. So on Netflix, there's a movie called The Ritual about 4 Englishmen who go on a hike through Denmark?
Sure.
Holland? I don't know. Somewhere foreign to
Hala
them.
kana waka laka here.
And they end up having to take a shortcut due to a sprained ankle, sprained knee through a forest that may or may not be possessed. Ooh, that was good. It was a Netflix original with Rafe Spall, who is Timothy Spall's son. He's been in a bunch of different movies. He's in all the the something at the end of the world. Oh God, the Shaun of the Dead, at the end of the world, about the bar where you don't know what they're doing, but it's the apocalypse, and they make their way through London to get help, and you find out that the places they're meeting is a bar called At the End of the World.
Okay.
And it's just they make these. He is usually in these movies that have a serious tone, like a zombie, but then they're actual comedies. Like the one guy that's a zombie in Shaun of the Dead is they think he's drunk and they keep trying to poke him and like wake him up, and it's very funny. Like, it's a very funny comedy. And this Rafe Spall has always had these parts in these little movies. So I thought this movie was going to turn out to have some kind of funny twist, because every movie he's been in has been kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a good suspense. Not really a horror movie. Just suspenseful of what's in the woods with them. I guess it was a horror movie. I guess I screamed. But it was good. So those are your horror movie recommendations. You can stay at home for cheaper and have more fun.
I'll just fall asleep 20 minutes in anyway.
26. I think you promised us 26 minutes.
That's true.
6 minutes can make a big difference.
I might be lying a little bit. I might fall asleep for 5 minutes and then wake up for one at minute 26 and then go back to sleep. Carry on.
I'm torn between my next read being A Million Little Pieces or My Life as a Goddess. One's a comedy.
One's about a whale
One's
explosion.
a girl power. Yeah, one's about a whale explosion.
Hang on, let me go to Amazon.
Yeah. We've talked about My Life as a Goddess. That's that comedian.
The comedian from Love It or Leave It all the time.
Yeah.
Guy Branum.
Yes, and the Love It or Leave It without the live audience and without Tommy Lovett, not as good. No, not John Lovett. Tommy Vitor.
Yeah, I don't know. That's okay.
They're okay, but they're missing something.
Kind of following the format. Yeah, well, they're missing John Lovett just screaming at everyone.
And a live.
If that's a thing that you like.
And the live audience. I think the live audience adds to it.
That first one in studio was pretty good, but now that they're just doing them all that way, not as good.
Yeah, you've lost the organics and the knowing if a joke is working. Like, it really helps.
Right.
We don't, but we will.
All right, My Life as a Goddess. We know that. What's the other book?
A Million Little Pieces.
Stand by.
50
I'm
Ways
gonna
to
look
Leave Your
into them.
Lover.
Very girl power.
I'm into that.
Yes, I thought you might enjoy that
I,
one.
I know you're surprised.
Yeah, really.
Breaking
So,
news.
This
Feminism.
week on the Late Show
With who?
With Carpool
James
Karaoke
Corden?
with James Corden. Barbara, can you hear me? She's gonna be on Thursday. The ads look like a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Streisand is
She's
doing
got a
it?
new album,
Ah.
and she's doing all the things.
The very first thing anyone's ever going to say about it is it going to be about her seatbelt. Just know that she's wearing it wrong and just be okay with it and move on with your life.
Oh, why? How is she wearing the seatbelt? I didn't notice that.
Like under her armpit.
Oh,
yeah. So instead of up and across the chest.
because it cuts your boobs wrong on camera.
Well, I mean,
you gotta be worried.
That's true.
I'm sure there's a lighting issue too.
But you want to try and be safe. I don't know.
Well,
I
she's
don't know.
driving, which I thought was odd. It's the
Which I
first
thought was a cute twist.
Yeah.
And she's very like in control. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I can't imagine her just being like, oh, okay, I'll go for
I
a
don't
ride
feel
with
like
you.
Barbara has driven anywhere in 40 years.
I was surprised she knew how to drive.
Sure.
That was the first thing I thought. But
She
then I was
lives in
like,
New
oh,
York, right?
Yeah, I was like, oh no. She's lived in California for a long time. But then I thought she's been famous since she was a teenager and didn't have a car. So at some
Right.
point, someone taught her how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
I should
But she's
hope
got
so.
that house in Malibu that has the mall in the basement.
Or-
that still cracks. There's an actual mall.
Or
in
is
her
the Land
basement.
Rover on a trailer and they're just pulling her through LA?
Which has been my theory on that the entire time.
On some of it.
Yeah, except for a couple times they really drive around the block at the studio.
Right.
Yeah.
Television City.
Yeah. But sometimes they go out into the street because it wasn't somebody did hair.
Yeah. So the crosswalk musicals is a whole different segment.
But they
But
combine
that's right in
there
front of
There
it.
was one where a carpool karaoke ran into a crosswalk show tunes.
I don't know which
And
one
I
is that.
can't- I
It's
can't-
not Hair, because Hair was Lin-Manuel Miranda. And it's not Beauty and the Beast.
Wait, so Lin-Manuel Miranda was in the car.
Not the same car. He was in a car in New York right before the Tony Awards when Audra
Oh.
McDonald and
No. This
Jesse
is
Tyler Ferguson.
Yeah, this is a different one where somebody's in the car and they get stopped by the cast of Hair and they worried they're going to take their clothes off and then they keep singing whatever the Broadway song is. They're like unrelated.
I don't think I know that one, but I don't watch the like spin-off YouTube TV show
Yeah.
where they've got other people, not with James Corden carpool karaokeing.
He's the only acceptable
Right.
carpool karaoke
Right.
human.
And I don't want
'Cause
to see
his
any
voice is
repeats
so
either.
good.
Oh yeah, and he's so much fun. And he's such a fan.
He's
Oh,
such
yeah,
a
he's
fan.
a fan. He's the Taylor Swift of carpool karaoke.
Oh, he really is. And when he starts harmonizing, you can tell when the guests are like,
Wait, what?
What'd you just do?
Jennifer Hudson is my favorite
Yeah.
reaction to him.
Yeah, because he hit it. He hit it
Oh.
hard. So we have that one. So last season coming up, Orange is the New Black. The season we just completed it, or I have not completed it yet. But next season is the last.
Thank God.
They put the kibosh on it. Same with when they finish the next half a season of Kimmy Schmidt, that will be the end.
No.
But I think they're going to do a movie to tie up Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, that'd be
Because I
fun.
don't think anybody's willing to give up that cash cow. I'm kind of curious as to who's saying no.
Mm-hmm.
Like who in that.
Orange is the New Black needs to be done. This whole last season was just trauma porn. Like
Now
it's just getting worse. Like any comedy or revelation is gone, I think.
Yeah.
And now it's just watching horrible things continue to happen to people.
Yeah. And my heart was hurt by
Poussey.
Poussey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I never really recovered. But so they did pull the plug on that. You're going to get one more season. But if you're talking about girl power, the first year that they won, I think they won the SAG. I can't remember if they won the SAG or the Golden Globe.
Mhm.
And this thing where the entire cast comes on the stage. Oh, it had to be the Golden Globe. And they were like, look around. Like, when will you ever see a
all
cast
women.
of this diverse assortment of women? Like, no one is a type up here. And it really was amazing when you looked at them all together. And you're so used to them in prison gowns, prison garb, to see them like all dressed up and at their best. And you're like, but that is every shape, shade, age, color,
Oh, yeah.
ethnicity, belief. Like, that's all represented there on that one show. So kudos to
Oh,
them.
yeah, there's lots and lots to love about that show, but
Yeah.
I think just
But
script wise, it needs to stop.
Yeah.
Because
They-
it's like there's no good way to go.
And they've reached that point that some shows reach, like where you have that perfect season and then you just can't top it. You know, Dexter has season 4 where everybody complains about 5 through 8, and I get it. You're never gonna get that good. Orange is the New Black was V season
Yep.
2. Like, once you have a villain
It's a
that
great
good
season.
and you just have like that much, everything kind of feels like, oh, where do we go? Like we hit it out of the park.
Yeah.
Homeland had the same thing.
Yeah, and now it's just all sad.
Yeah, Homeland had that season 3, and then you're like, all right, now what do we do? So that's kind of when most of the time I stopped. Dexter, I would never stop because I love Dexter. And then we're going to get to our Oscar movie for the week, and I honest to God think Melissa McCarthy's got like a super good chance at an Oscar, and not only that, but I think the Lady Gaga bell can stop ringing because now I think she's third in line to win that Oscar. Like,
Yeah.
I think they're going to nominate her, and only because I think they really need people viewers to show up. So I think that A Star Is Born is going to do way better than it should, but so do
Sure.
a lot of Bradley Cooper movies that don't ever win. See any one of the 4 movies that have been way over nominated from him. This one, Can You Ever Forgive Me? Her name is already forgot it.
Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy playing Lee Israel.
I don't know who that
an
is.
author, a biographer from the late 70s, early 80s. She wrote 1 or 2 successful biographies and then just kind of fell into disrepair. She was working on a biography of Fanny Bryce that naturally no one wanted to buy because no one knew who Fanny Bryce was. And it kind of had already been covered. Very talented writer, and she started forging letters because she stumbled across, in her research about Fanny Bryce, she stumbled across a letter from Fanny to someone else and like realized that when she was down and out that somebody might want to buy it. She didn't have to admit that she found it in a library. It wasn't hers. She kind of stole it. Sells it. They offer her a little bit of money, but they're like, well, it's not that personal. If it had more personal details or more in line with their writing style or their persona, you'd get more for it. So she starts like looking at famous letters, and she starts writing letters as Noel Coward and Dorothy Parker, Louise Brooks, Marlene Dietrich, and like she writes them better than they would have written them. Like she's better at being them than they are, and she does the research because she's a biographer. So she reads their diaries, she reads their biographies so that the letters kind of make sense. And it's a true story, and she got caught. But it is just, it's dark humor. Like, this is a woman who no one would ever like, who hooks up with this guy in a gay bar that she meets. And he kind of, like, encourages her in her crime spree, and just...
There's a lot of enablers in gay bars.
There's a lot of there's
I'm
a
just
lot
gonna
of
put it
bad,
out
there's
there.
a lot of bad decision bears at work here. But she's desperate for money, and she's actually working as a writer. She's not she's forging the signature, but she's just copying a style,
right.
And at one point, people are saying like they're reading a Dorothy Parker letter, and they're like, well, this has to be real. No one could ever write like her, and she has to like kind of bury her feelings that like Dorothy Parker didn't write that, I did.
Right.
Like the person you're complimenting about
Is me.
is me. So, but it's really really, really well done, and a great performance. And Richard Grant, who plays, who I haven't seen in years, stumbled out of somewhere to play her gay best friend. And then the cat storyline is just the darkest of all possible humor. It's just sick and wrong. But what an interesting life. And she just died a few years ago. I had not heard that she had died. But interesting author, interesting woman, just a real recluse and a pain in the ass that no one likes. And like all the shit that they talk about Tom Clancy is hysterical, because at one point she's at a cocktail party with Tom Clancy. It's just completely wrong. But yeah, I honestly, it's her best performance ever. She has never been so like in character. She gets the laughs without going to any kind of Melissa McCarthy shtick,
like slapsticky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all genuinely from a genuine misanthrope. Like, it's just someone who absolutely should not be around other people, but has to. So I really recommend. I can't recommend that enough. Just a good time.
I will think about seeing it, and then probably never will.
That's good that you considered it,
Right.
though. That's what's important.
Gosh, what should I do today? Well, I should go see that movie. I'll recommend it. Should, but not gonna.
So, and then I still
Very
haven't
nice.
seen Beautiful Boy, but I'm hoping that if tomorrow I wake up at an hour where going to a movie is possible before work, I shall.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, I'm
think
very,
you should.
it's, finger on the pulse of the opioid crisis. Yep.
We're very finger on the pulse around here.
Several pulses.
Yeah.
Pulsi.
I mean, I took my finger off of Whitney's pulse a couple years ago because I thought that might be settled.
I feel like we could pay less attention.
She ain't getting up.
Neither's Christina.
No.
Bobby
it could
Christina,
be,
excuse me.
Yeah, it could be a Shaun of the Dead situation.
You know what they'd be doing if they were alive right now, though?
Showing us their receipts.
Trying to get out.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's funny every time. Every time.
You're funny.
What's
Shut up.
Beethoven doing now? Decomposing.
Decomposing.
Oh my God, we're
Funny.
now doing Olivia Gardens jokes in the goddamn show.
Third grade humor.
Humor.
Always funny.
Tell you about the time I lost my job.
At the Orange Factory.
I worked at an orange juice factory. Yeah. Couldn't concentrate. It doesn't matter. You laugh every time. You can't help it. Can't help it.
I don't know.
Falling in love again. What am I to do?
I know.
Can't help it.
What are we doing now?
You're gonna talk about two things.
Am I?
Do you have two things?
Am I?
I don't know. Do you have two things? Because later on he's got a sex question for us.
Oh.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
What isn't that? Is that gonna be our thoughtful?
Yeah, sure.
Let's go into that.
Are we gonna do that?
I don't have anything.
You got nothing?
I got nothing. I got more rants about A Star Is Born. Nobody wants to hear it.
Well, let's see what happens.
Well,
with
what are the
that.
new ones?
And
Oh wait, do you want to talk about rants?
Yeah, I want another rant about A Star Is Born.
Go ahead. Go
I'm
ahead.
mad at this movie.
All right, fine.
Zeitgeist my ass.
Is that
So I
the
really-
sex question?
No.
Oh. My ass. Go ahead.
No. So, I just have a few rebuttals,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
Okay. You may have the floor. We yield our time
Because
to Kat Carlson.
here's what happened. Last week, I went on a rant about the fact that there are no women anywhere within, like, spitting distance of A Star Is Born. To which, obviously, dumbasses went, well, Lady Gaga's a big star in it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
First of all, fuck you. Second of all,
Good rebuttal.
right.
Fair point. Well made.
Second of all, that's not what I'm talking about. So then, once we not conquered, but moved past those people.
Yeah.
Then I
Those people.
Then I had somebody try and tell me that that was a plot point and a part of the trauma and what made these characters the way that they were. Second of all,
Then you got to tell me that somehow.
Second of all, also fuck you, because you cannot tell me that these two people lived for allegedly, we'll say 2 years, 3 years. I'm not sure how long this movie spans, but I'm gonna guess a couple
and
years.
never saw another woman.
Never saw another woman anywhere professionally ever.
Yeah.
That might be a thing that happens to you, but probably not.
I'm a nurse, so guess what?
Right.
No.
I'm gonna guess that there are probably maybe 10 people I know that might actually exist in this male-only world.
Yeah.
But no. Also, fuck you. And then
Wow.
then
It's very
There were
hard on
three
this
things.
point.
Yeah.
no, because I mean honestly, like the irony of saying, "Hey, there's no women around here," and having a whole bunch of men tell me, "Well, that's okay."
Yeah. The correct use of irony.
Right. Thank you.
Being assured by men that there's enough women.
That it's okay that there's no women in this movie. But the one I think that made me the angriest is actually the one that says, well, but it's based on a movie from the 30s. Let me tell you about this movie from the 30s. Go watch it, because the first 20 minutes of that goddamn movie is about this girl and her family full of women, her mom and like her grandma and like an aunt and some grumpy old dad, whatever. Like discussing her future and her dreams to go to Hollywood, and there's an entire 10-minute speech of her grandmother telling her, don't you let anyone tell you what not to do. You go follow your dreams. In fact, here's the money to go do it. Go get it, girl. Like there's an entire like build-up of this character.
I have a question.
In the 1937 version.
Yeah, and
so go
fuck
yourself and watch the movie before you fucking just blame it on the 30s.
I have a question about that.
Oh, tell me.
I'm not opposed to this scene.
Sure.
I just want to know who greenlighted a movie the championing women to do their own shit in the 30s. Who greenlighted it, and then did they still have a job after the movie was made?
Well, no, the women is from the 30s too. It's from 1939, and there's not a man in that movie.
Funny story. Women were much more like repressed and held down in the 50s than they were in the 30s. Women.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
women
Hays
held
Code,
their own.
The Hays Code comes mid 30s, but Gone with the Wind, Misguided.
Oh, you have a valid point.
The Wizard of Oz, all girl power stories.
Oh, well,
Yeah, you don't really start.
Spoiler alert! It was in her own backyard.
You don't really start putting women like barefoot in the kitchen until the 50s.
That is
Oh, because
true.
the 40s, they were part of the war movement.
Right.
You have
Absolutely.
Mrs.
They
Miniver,
built
you have
planes, they
Rebecca.
don't- right.
Yeah.
Rosie
you,
the
you
Riveter.
don't get to that till the 50s. So when you just say, "Oh, it's an old movie and it's from the 30s and it's always been
Because
that
they
way,"
had to
and-
take the power away from the 40s that they got from being working
right,
women.
because then
Yeah,
all
you had to show them how wrong they were.
because then all the men came back from war
Right.
and felt useless because
Right.
as it turns out,
the women can do all their own shit.
we can do it without you,
Right.
boys. Like we just can.
I personally wish that they would do more shit. I wish men would do less and let the women do more. And what I mean by that is I want to see them all running. Not that all women know how to
Yes.
do it, but I still like to see more women run shit.
I agree.
That's just, I've always
I
been that
agree.
way. Maybe it's because I was
So-
raised by a strong woman who could run shit, but maybe that's part of it.
Right, and some of that is my problem too. Like I come from a very matriarchal family on both sides.
Yeah, my grandmother
I
ran
mean?
shit. Like
Like,
it's
yeah.
how it worked.
Yeah, I go to family reunions and I think about it, and I've got very, like all of the men in my family are very like patient and supportive, but also like don't fuck around with the women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, well, that's what your mom wants.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
that was exactly
your grandmother
how.
said so. My
Yeah.
hands are tied.
It's exactly how that worked
You know what
out.
I mean? Like it's,
Yeah.
it's very much all of my family.
And grandma, my mom's mom did that dance of, I can let you believe you're running this,
Yeah.
but I'm really running it all.
I know you'll be surprised, but no, the women in my family will just roll right over you.
She occasionally did that too, but
Yeah.
most of the time it was like, no,
That's the
it's
women
just-
in my
That's,
family too.
that's
like,
the status quo. Like
that's you
yeah,
too.
you just
just going straight through you. Sorry
Yep.
about it.
There we go.
Come along.
you can have an opinion. We're not listening, but please do.
Write that down somewhere.
Yeah, please do. There's a suggestion box right under the sink.
Gotcha. Right.
Tie the
I
bag
know
when
right
it's
where to file
tie
it.
the bag when it's full.
Your comments go here, sir.
I read that, Ross. I tore right through it.
Oh yeah, The Hobbit's another movie with no women too that drove me nuts. But now the Barbra Streisand version, she just has her backup singers, but luckily they're all over the beginning when he meets her and they're encouraging and they come up to support her. But I mean, there really is no one in that movie but Barbra Streisand. The male parts are
Right.
kind of down to.
And I'm not saying it hasn't happened ever
Yeah.
before. Somebody tried to throw Star Wars at me. Listen,
But you can also you can say it's a remake of the '70s version.
you could.
There's where
Yes.
you would go because
You could.
she was such a star, she didn't need anyone to support her. But there's no one else in that movie at one point but Barbra Streisand. Like at the last, and it's the problem with Funny Girl too. The whole second act is just Barbara over and over and over again.
But is it
Why-
a problem?
No, you're delighted. Sometimes the problem's just Barbara.
Yeah. And
Don't tell her
again,
that.
I'm not saying I've never seen a movie with no women in it. I certainly have.
But one that's supposed to be
Right. A
Yeah.
modern day update
yeah, no, they failed.
ought to have somebody. Like the driver could have been a woman. The sound engineer could have been a woman. Her dad could have had a female friend.
Anyone.
Like plenty of cab drivers are women.
Yeah. Anyone. Uber drivers. So we don't need the music, but it's not really a thoughtful vulgarity. It's just a funny thing from this comedian that I love, Justin Sayre. The
Oh,
one
right.
that performs,
Yes.
he does the hanky thing,
Uh-huh.
and always funny. And I hadn't checked in on his YouTube page for a while. And so from last year, one of his rulings from the International Order of Sodomites, he's talking about relationships and like what kind of like he overheard a younger gay man talk about what kind of gay he should be.
Oh,
And
okay.
he was so like upset by the question.
They let you pick?
Yeah, that Justin was like
Somebody tell you couldn't?
yes.
I got pigeonholed right away.
And just how funny he went to like bitchy and all the funny things he had to say. And he broke it down to, in your relationship, are you a Carrie or are you a Debbie? They had just died. So the audience gets a groan out of it. But are you the overbearing showstopper mother?
Stage
or are
mom.
you the one who ghostwrites stuff and is involved in stuff that nobody has any idea and secretly is the only woman in like every guy's fantasy because it's the only woman they've ever seen before because there's only one female character through 3 Star Wars movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, which one are you? And I just thought it was the funniest question. And once the audience was done groaning because he's like, too soon? He's like, but come on, are you the Carrie or the Debbie?
Right.
And I'm like, that is such a funny way, just such an interesting new take on
Right.
top, bottom, but Carrie or Debbie.
I'm going to go with Debbie.
I know, I desperately want to be the Carrie, but the tap shoes give it away.
I don't think I want to be the
The,
Carrie. is
the grand
problem.
entrance too.
Yeah.
Might,
Like I'm concerned that I'm a Carrie. I'd rather be a Debbie. Let's put put that out there. Let's
Yeah,
just,
I want
be the
credit for
Debbie.
everything.
And I want a tap.
And we brought her, yeah, exactly. And we brought her up last week because one of the things that A Star is Born desperately needed was
A tap number?
that too.
A mom?
Two things.
Oh,
no, it
mom.
needed her. Carrie Fisher. There's so many movies in Hollywood that she did was a script doctor on.
Sure.
And like got dialogue better, fixed problems
Right.
that they would just call her and be like, all right.
Could have pulled out
What's wrong?
75 fucks from Bradley Cooper's dialogue.
Right.
And
smart and
didn't
tough
she
dialogue.
have a pseudonym that she used when she did that?
I don't think she ever.
Or maybe she
she
never
got
got credit.
paid. I don't think she ever got credit.
Credit for it. Okay. 'Cause I remember hearing something about that.
Because she wrote Postcards from the Edge is her autobiography, and that's hysterical. It's more like a Ramona Clef. It's not so much an autobiography. It's like that Ramona Clef is when you're reading a story and you know that they're all real, like The Master we talked about. That's absolutely not about Scientology. Absolutely not. That's a Ramona Clef where you can deny any relationship to who it's about while it's completely about that person.
Oh.
So I think Postcards from the Edge is you're not supposed to believe that is the true relationship of Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher, but it absolutely is the true relationship of Carrie Fisher and Debbie Reynolds.
I had never heard of that. Ramona Clef.
Mm-hmm.
A French novel with a key is a novel about a real life overlaid with a facade of fiction. I'd never heard that phrase before.
Yeah, and that's what she wrote in. But she was a script doctor for so many movies, and posthumously, I think they gave her credit for a few more.
Did they?
Like I think there was a couple that, and she would never say she always took the money, and she would tell you that take the money.
Yep.
Don't worry about the credit. The money will buy you a house.
Oh, sure.
The credit will get you blame if nobody likes it. And most of the time they were shitty movies. Most of the time she took shitty movies and punched them up. Or
Made
a couple
them less
times,
shitty.
yeah, a couple times she took good movies that were had the idea to be good, but they didn't have a good enough writer, and she fixed them.
Like A Star is Born.
Yeah, like she could have with that.
Damn it.
So
Another
yeah,
reason why we need Carrie.
I wish I was a Carrie, but I'm a Debbie.
Yeah. But
Debbie,
but the tapping is good.
Oh, no, Debbie, because I have to run everything. It's a control freak. I have that. But what you were saying though about are you the person who does stuff behind the scenes or you're not? How did you describe that?
Yeah, I mean you're the one that doesn't take any credit. Just kind of like sneaks in, does it, takes the cash, walks away. Nobody knows you were over there. Like is happy with.
I'm that person too.
Yeah,
there's a side of that.
But we all like the little bit of glory and the things.
Yeah,
and,
I can't be quiet entering a room. There's no way that's gonna happen. There's no way that works.
I mean now I'm not gonna remember what it's called. My amethyst robe.
No,
what was it?
Wait, no.
Amethyst realm.
My amethyst realm is rubbing together.
But what did you call it? Your haunted hoochie? Is that what
Haunted hoochie.
Haunted hoochie.
Again, silver and dust are the colors most represented by my haunted
Silver and gold, silver
Not
and gold.
okay.
Marty, if you're still listening, I'm sorry about the crayon reference.
Oh, now you get to that. Now you get to that.
As I get the motherfuckers, I'm listening.
She's not listening anymore.
Justin Sayre. Oh, he is the funniest, and he's got like so many stand-ups on there, and they're short and succinct. Some of them are like 6 or 7 minutes, but that is good times.
A couple of the movies that she actually script doctored for are 1992 Sister Act. She did. Oh, hang on. This thing's so fucking slow. Come on.
And every line
One
went
more.
to Maggie Smith. I
One
can tell
more.
you that.
Probably so.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why didn't this scroll down faster? Lethal Weapon, Hook. There's one more in here too. Come on, scroll down one more.
I'm surprised it's not Lethal Weapon 3 Lethal Weapon 2 is the one with the little short guy, the Oscar winner.
Sister Act, 88's Wedding Singer.
Oh, yep, I knew she did The Wedding Singer.
Yeah.
Joe Pesci.
Oh,
They fuck you
yeah.
in the drive-thru.
Oh.
Fuck you in the drive-thru.
My Cousin Vinny. Gosh, I love that movie. That's a fun.
But
fun
Lethal
movie.
Weapon 2 is where he does the fuck you in the drive-thru.
Marnie's still listening.
You know what? She responds faster to texting if she's listening to something live. I find that.
We're talking to her. The line
So how do we make that happen the rest of the week?
I don't know.
So there you go. And again, he just has something funny to add every time.
Marty says Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Yep, we got it.
We got that.
I forget through the drive-through.
She's also on a delay and still responds fast.
Mm-hmm.
How's that working out for you?
So there we go. We wrapped that up in.
We did. It's
In less than
2
3
hours,
hours,
10. Yeah.
Look at that. We're efficient.
Oh, we're good.
Efficient.
Be efficient. I know. I have an Alfred Hitchcock movie to finish up my Halloween. Oscar winner Rebecca is only Best Picture winner.
It's exciting.
Or nominee, I think.
It's very exciting.
There you go. I got an alert too. Oh, Marnie.
Because she's texting all of us.
She's
Yeah, she's on a group text. You're not special. So
Good
next
job,
week
kids.
is election week, so we might be laughing, we might be crying.
It'll be a busy
We'll
week.
definitely be drinking.
We'll do. Oh yeah.
I'll do my best to have a TV screen in here with live updates from the MSNBC because that's the only people I believe.
Hopefully, Ducey will be on his way out the door.
That'd be nice. There's a lot of people I'd like to see out the door. Tons.
Yeah.
Many people. If you
So
haven't
many
voted
people.
yet, please do. If you're listening to this, I mean, if you're listening like 2 weeks from now, too late.
Too late. Too
But
late.
you've got from
Get your
today.
life together.
You have 7 days. It's 7 days from today. Go vote. Please.
6 days and 22 hours.
Something. But we'll be here
Math. So much math.
tracking everything going on nationwide. But as we wrap up tonight's show, we're going to leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday.
Steve Kornacki.